Keep your eyes on your chips because it is Seagulls abound for Leicester City today as we are headed to the South Coast to face Brighton and Hove Albion. Coming off of a couple tough matches, is this the time where Leicester City is going to rebound their fortunes? I hope you're going to join us for the watch along. Give us your views, give us your comments. Let's go live.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, hello and welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It is an exciting match coming up as we return to the Premier League after some European action. It is going to be Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Leicester City on the South Coast. Nice away day for some of the lads. So let's get right into discussing the game because this is going to be a big, important match for Leicester City to sort of rebound off of a couple tough matches. Some refereeing decisions and some tough plays that ended up giving us a loss against Manchester City in our last outing in the Premier League. And of course, a hard-fought draw against Napoli on Thursday. So get your views in, get your comments in. Let's just get some of the greetings out of the way and a come on you foxes coming in. So great to see you all tuning in. Would love to hear your thoughts on this match. We can already get right in on the starting lineup as well. Why is Maddison starting? So there has been a little bit of shuffle going on in the lineup. So let's take a quick look at the Leicester City lineup. From what I understand, we are moving to a 4-3-3 formation, which is, in my opinion, very exciting. And I'd love to hear your views on this as well. Just to run through all of the names. We'll come right off the bat. Goalkeeper, of course, is Kasper Schmeichel, as always. Across the back four, Ryan Bertrand, Yannick Vestergaard, Çağlar Söyüncü keeps his place in the back four, and Ricardo Pereira makes a return to the lineup. Middle three of Boubakary Soumaré, who makes I believe this is his first start for Leicester City in the Premier League. Wilfred Ndidi in the middle, and Yuri Tielemans on the right. And then a front three of James Maddison on the left, Jamie Vardy in the middle, and Harvey Barnes on the right. We'll definitely be looking forward to some of the pace that we're going to see from Harvey Barnes on the right wing. And of course, three up front. I think we could see some exciting play, some more attacking play than we might be more used to from Brendan Rodgers and Leicester City. So let's get some of your views on the lineups. Vestergaard starting versus Evans. So Evans did come off, I believe, against Napoli. He's been having some trouble with his foot, so it looks to be a fitness issue as to why he isn't starting today. I do agree that he's definitely more of a rock that helps to sort of secure Söyüncü in his place. But Vestergaard he's a big guy. He's a level head. He's an experienced player. So I do feel good about seeing him in the lineup, at least as that person who can sort of help marshal the defense. Fee, good to see you. Are you burning the Brighton shirt live on the show? So I am a bit of a kit collector, actually, is just a little bit of news about me, I guess, in that case. So I do try to have both teams up on the watch along. If our luck turns a little bit to less, so maybe at halftime, I'll take that down and put another Leicester shirt up. So yes, just to confirm, Ed Hargrave, Evans is not fit for this match. I don't even believe he made it to the bench. A lot of people not happy to see that Maddison is playing. I can kind of see that frustration. He's been shaky, but he is one of those players that Brendan Rodgers relies on quite a bit. Would love to see him sort of bring in a good match and a good performance, but of course, he has been a little bit inconsistent as of late. Nacho instead of Matters is a good shout out for that front line. Another pacey player who could help bring in some runs, pull some of the defense apart. We'll get into the Brighton lineup as well. From what I understand, they are not going to be sticking with a back three, I believe, which has been something they are going with a back three, but there is some change in the defense that we can talk about that I think will leave them a little bit vulnerable, especially with us going forward with a back three. So I think one of the things we could maybe hope to see with all this discussion around Nacho instead of Maddison, he might be that power sub, that sort of all Brighton type figure. Because we're playing a sort of wider front line, that would be a good chance for us to sort of come forward. I am seeing some people coming in saying that we're going with a 4-4-2 diamond. My graphic that I've seen so far has shown a 4-3-3, but it's definitely possible. I know that Brendan Rodgers doesn't normally play these sorts of formations. So I do apologize if my information might have been wrong there, but I do believe that still the starting players are still going to be the same in that regard. Sometimes the Canadian broadcaster that I do rely on for this does get lineups wrong. I believe they've done that before. I think for the Wolves match they did. So my apologies there. So yeah, it does look like a lot of people are saying that Maddison is going to drop into a center attacking midfield role. That definitely does feel like a more natural place for Maddison, but nonetheless, I am still happy to see that we are going with more than one forward, which has been a little bit shaky for us in the past. Definitely get your views in on that. Whole lot of comments to keep discussing on here. Lookman, definitely a good shout out for a start, but again, he is on the bench. So the fact that he still made it into the matchday squad is positive. He played very, very well from what we've seen so far of him. A couple stellar starts, could be one for the future. That loan does have an option to buy. We'll be hoping for a nice performance from him. Barnes and Lookman versus Matters. Again, I think we could see Maddison coming off if we don't see him playing that well up front in that first half. Happy to see that Ricardo is back. Yes, he will be another. It's easy to forget the fact that I believe Ricardo's 24. He plays like someone with a lot more experience. He's one of those sort of marshalling players where you can expect a lot of very good things from him in the defense and sort of to help calm things down. We have seen a few silly mistakes on our back line, and I think sort of that combination of the level heads of Bertrand, Vestergaard, and Pereira could give us that nice calm demeanor that we've really needed. Joe Hunter, is anyone else joining? I'm actually flying solo today because we got a lot of the lads heading down to the Amex Stadium to watch the game live. So I will be manning the watch along by myself here in Canada. However, I will be getting the link in, and I hope you'll be able to join me even throughout the match. It's not if you do feel like joining in, we won't just be flying just me if someone else does come in, but would love to get some of your views on air. We are doing that a slightly shorter lead into the match, a slightly shorter pregame, just due to the time difference because it's very early in the morning here. However, yes, I will get that link up for you all momentarily, just when I get through the last of these comments. Nacho deserves to be starting more based on his performances this season from Thomas Dipper. I could definitely agree with that. He was definitely stunning towards the end of last season, but I think at least in Brendan's eyes, he's still that sort of rotation type player. Between him, Daka, and Vardy, I'm hoping that we're going to start to see a little bit more rotation, maybe even Maddison coming out of the lineup for a couple matches. The fact that we're playing in Europe, I think we are going to see him getting more starts, but it might still be in those cup games. But I definitely think that he does deserve more Premier League time than he has been getting. And yeah, seeing a lot of people coming in saying that we're going to be playing the diamond formation. So again, we'll just use that lineup graphic that we've got put together just for reference on the starting 11, which I can also get ticking across the bottom of the screen in just a moment. The defense looks porous. I expect a 4-3-3. I feel kind of solid about that back line that we're putting out. It's not normally the traditional type of defense that we put out, of course, because we are seeing some of the new signings coming in like Bertrand and Vestergaard. But what we might lack in a little bit of pace in this back line, we're more than making up for in experience and ability to sort of dominate that line, especially against set pieces. One of the things that we really saw a lot of last season was a weakness, both in taking and in defending set pieces. So I'm really hoping that a nice marshaled back line with the really pronounced dominating figure of Yannick Vestergaard will be able to help sort of calm things down back there and really make sure that we don't make any silly mistakes off of corners. Brighton were not expecting that formation. I would agree, if it does go with the 4-3-3 as well, but even a diamond formation as well is a little bit something new from Brendan Rodgers. We will definitely get to score predictions probably about 5-10 minutes before the match. Are we showing the game? No. So this is a watch along where I'm going to have the game up on my end and I'll be giving us live commentary. So this is going to be the place for us to watch along with the match. But due to copyright restrictions, we will not be showing the match itself. Thank you very much, Fee. But yes, I do hope that we'll get some of you joining. I think at this point, I'm going to put the link into the description just before I put the Brighton lineup up. So please check out the chat and you will see the link. So please join in. Hi, Carmen. Good to see you tuning in. Always nice to have you joining us. I believe from what I have heard in the United Kingdom, this game is not going to be shown on television. So if you are joining us from the UK, I do hope that you'll stay with us through the game for the watch along. We'll be giving you live updates on commentary as the game goes. Yes, it will just be me today. However, it won't just be me for the pre-match. I'm seeing Sean has joined us. Sean, I'm going to have you on in just a moment, but first, we are going to quickly talk through the Brighton lineup, and then I'll have you on if that's all right. So just to quickly run through, I've got Brighton's lineup for you here. From what I understand, they're playing a 3-4-1-2, which is rather typical of Graham Potter's sides with that 3 in the back. However, there has been some rotation in the squad. So just to run through, Sanchez plays in goal, and then across the back line, we have Dunk, Duffy, and Joel Veltman, the Dutchman, makes his appearance in the back line. Across the midfield 4, we have Cucurella, who comes his way into the lineup. And then a middle 2 of Bissouma and Lallana, and Solly March enters the lineup. He didn't play in the starting lineup against Everton. And then they're playing their front players of Trossard, who will be sitting back in that sort of number 10 role, and then a front 2 of Danny Welbeck and, of course, Neil Mopai. So a little bit of the lineup news that's important to mention here is the fact that McAllister has dropped onto the bench. I know a lot of Brighton players have been seeing a lot of promise out of him, but he doesn't make it into the starting 11. He might be that sort of power substitute. We'll definitely get into some discussion on the Brighton lineup. However, Sean, I'd love to bring you on screen. So if you want to give me a thumbs up, I will add you in. All right, Sean, always good to see you. I believe it's early afternoon there, so good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Yeah, good.
So we're coming off of a couple of tough games. I hope you were able to catch the matches against Manchester City and against Napoli. We've been a little bit shaky as late, but how do you think we're going to perform against Brighton? Do you think there's going to be couple players who will doubt?
Yeah. I think if Marty, yeah, if Marty Turn is struggling and a bit shaky, and I think take him off into Gooseberry.
I was going to say, I know you're a big fan of Dewsbury Hall, and we are seeing him on the bench today. So do you think he might be like a nice halftime substitution? Someone to bring in like a fresh set of legs and a new way of looking at the front line?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you think he's going to get on the score sheet today if he comes on?
I think so, yeah. If Brendan Rodgers picked the right team and I think we might win this game because Murek's not good matches and I think we might win about mid-points.
Nice. So always glad to hear that you think we might win. We'll get into the score prediction just before I let you go, but I would love to ask you, before we get to score predictions, I'm going to bring the lineup back up. So I know you mentioned the idea of sort of a substitution of Madison for Dewsbury Hall. Understanding that this isn't the formation, but these are the players that are starting. If you're Brendan Rodgers, and let's say we're going into halftime level, what are some other substitutions that you might make? What are some of the names on the bench on the left side there that you're liking there? Maybe Daka or Lookman.
Okay. I think Harvey Barnes into Daka and 42. I think Lookman and I think Sancho into into Marte and then left wing Marte.
Nice. Well, those are some great ideas across the board. We'll definitely would love to have you on at halftime, just in case we can see if any of those changes do come to light. Now, one final thing that I'm going to ask you about before we get to score predictions is there anyone from Brighton who you think is going to be like the star player for them? Anyone you think we need to look out for?
Number number 4, number 24.
Number 24, Duffy. Yeah, he is a very important player for them in the defense, and he'll definitely be causing us problems on set pieces. All right, it's going to be my favorite time when we have you on. Let's get a score prediction in there. So what do you think the final score is going to be?
I think it might be 7-0.
7-0. I love to hear it. And who do you think is going to score?
Goosebill and Daka and Nacho Festigard and Jamie Body. He might score from the end.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sean. And before I let you go, can we get a come on, you Foxes?
Come on, Leicester. Come on.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Sean. Hope you'll join us at half and full time. All right. So on that note, I think this is a good time for us to start talking score predictions. So again, I think a lot of Leicester fans are going to be coming into this game feeling like this is a match that we should be able to take pretty easily. But Brighton, of course, are a trickier side. I feel like every week, if there's ever a surprise result, you always feel like Brighton is going to be involved. They're sort of shaking the XG monkey off their back. They're getting on the score sheet a little bit more often. I'm leaning on the side of a win myself. I'm thinking that we're probably going to get a 2-1 win. I don't think we're going to get a clean sheet this match, but I think we're coming in with a slightly more exciting formation. We're going at least 2 up front, possibly even 3. I think we're going to take a real match to them. Seeing a couple score predictions coming in saying a 1-1 draw, a 2-0 win, 3-1, but definitely tough. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be a sort of a cakewalk for us. I definitely think that Brighton are going to give us a game today, for sure. Let's go into talking a little bit about Brighton's lineup in depth. I know I only brought that up and just sort of quickly ran through the lineup. Number 18 and number 9 are dangerous for Brighton, of course. So Danny Welbeck, I believe he came into Brighton towards the end of last season, and Neil Maupay, of course, he's sort of the standard bearer for Brighton and Hove Albion. So, yeah, I would agree that they're definitely going to be dangerous. We're seeing, of course, a front 2 for them. However, we're not seeing that sort of like 4-3-3 that really makes you think that they're going to go with a high press against Leicester City. So we could also see a sort of battle of the tactics, because a high press is normally what sort of plays well into Leicester's playbook, because that gives us a good setup for a counterattack. But if they play a deep midfield four there and they end up giving us basically 7 players in the back, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to get through that line. So would love to see if any of you have some thoughts on the Brighton and Hove Albion lineup, anyone that we should be keeping an eye out for. And of course, keep getting your score predictions in. Santosh Kumar saying a 2-1 win. Barnes and Vardy to score. I would love to see that. Finn, this is going to be a watch-along, so we're going to be giving you live commentary throughout the match, but we will not be putting the game up on screen, however. But I do hope that you will continue to join me and the channel through the match, as we'll be giving you the updates on the game as they come up. Terry Fuller, I would love to give a big shout out to your family in Vancouver. Vancouver, a lovely city out in the west of Canada. I'm on the eastern side of Canada in Toronto. But definitely I would, I'm not sure that they're going to be awake yet for us to, for them to hear my shout out, because I believe it's about almost 6 in the morning out in Vancouver. But of course, a shout out to Terry's family in Vancouver. Fee, I was in the KP when we beat Brighton in March 2020 in the FA Cup. Very optimistic 4-0 Foxes win. Would love to see that. I think that it's going to be a tough match, because we are, of course, going to be in Brighton, so we will not have the full swell of voices behind us. However, of course, we always get a good Leicester faithful for away games, and I know a lot of the team is down at the Amex Stadium as well, watching along. Hopefully, we might be able to get some of them to join us at halftime. Hayden coming in with some ideas on the match. This is a must-win game for us. We're currently in a relegation battle because we're on 6 points, not many points above the teams in the relegation zone, but my prediction is 3-1 Leicester. I sort of agree and disagree with you on this one. I would call this game a must-win, but not so much because we're in a relegation battle. I think it's a little bit early to really call a lot of the teams in the Premier League in a relegation battle yet, barring maybe, of course, Norwich City, but even Norwich had a very tough run of things at the start of the season. I'd say you'd maybe want to wait until you're maybe 8 to 10 games into the Premier League season to start deciding who's going to be in a relegation battle or not. But of course, one of the big things that plays into the Premier League is momentum and team morale and the like. And we are coming off of a couple of tough matches. Even Norwich brought a good game to us. So I think one of the things that we are going to need to do with this game is sort of set a precedent, get those new signings really settled into not only the lineup, but of course the Leicester City playbook as well. Make sure that everything is running well so that we can come into those future games and start picking up the points that we really need to be challenging for Europe. So what I see in this game is not so much an ability for us to get out of a relegation battle, but more, this is the game that's going to set us on a road to success if we can get positive momentum going here. A whole bunch of comments have just come in, so we're going to put some of these up on screen. Lalana could run the midfield if our midfield are not at the races. Yes, so let's bring the lineup back on and take a look at who we have in midfield. Sumare, Tielemans, and Ndidi. I could definitely see Brighton trying to pressure Sumare on the left-hand side because of the fact that he's newer to the team. I believe this is his first Premier League start. They're going to probably see a little bit of weakness there. And I think if you pull up Brighton lineup as well, you can see that Lalana is going to be that sort of overlapping position for Sumare on that left-hand side. So, yeah, I think it could prove to be a little bit difficult for us. However, I've got faith. Ndidi, of course, he's going to be playing hard in the Premier League because he's going to be suspended for the next couple European matches, or at least the next European match. So I'm expecting a big effort out of him today. He's also going to want to, of course, prove his skill after what was an unfortunate red card against Napoli. I still feel good about our midfield, but of course, it's going to be a very cagey match. For this exact reason, Brighton is good at pressing. And I think one of the things that we really saw is that our front line isn't the best at sort of dribbling through defenses. Of course, Manchester City, not exactly a precedent center for everybody in the Premier League. They have an incredible squad, but we really found it difficult to sort of dribble through their defenses. Anything that really goes against our sort of playbook of course, playing the long ball or through passes into a run anytime we have to sort of fight against the press and play the ball through a line of players, we run into some difficulty. So this is why I really feel that Brighton could bring a match to us, is because of their skill in pressing. Jason Bateman, this was exactly what I was saying. No one's in a relegation battle yet. It's way too early to say. We're seeing a lot of like dominant teams that I think at the start of the season we're expecting to get into Europe in the bottom half of the table. This is sort of still at that time period where it's a build-up that's dependent on how your schedule is more so than how your form and your players are playing. So it definitely takes a few more games. Once you've played some more traditional big squad European challenging teams, as well as some of those lower table survival fighting teams, only once you've reached more of an equality of those across all the teams in the Premier League can you really start to determine who is in a relegation battle and who is not. The players are just coming out onto the field, so we will be getting into our commentary soon. They're taking the lineup on either side of the referee to some nice applause across the Amex Stadium. If we do not win this game, will be a poor start to the season. I definitely agree with that. Of course, Leicester City have built up a bit of a reputation for some worrisome form towards the end of the season, so we'll definitely be hoping to switch our momentum to a more positive start, just at the very least to have some insurance against what almost feels inevitable sometimes for Leicester City fans. But it all remains to be seen once the players get out onto the pitch. I was in the program where I posted a selfie with Brendan Rodgers from January 2020. That's awesome to hear. So is this, I'm assuming you're talking about the program at the Amex then, but always great to see some Leicester City supporters, especially those that are sort of part of the Leicester Fan TV community getting some recognition. Yeah, Ben Koss, exactly what I was saying. 8 to 12 games is a good point where you can start to get a rough idea for relegation. You'll have really started to see more of the way that the league is shaping up. Teams really start to get sort of settled into their places. You get more of a points difference between those in relegation spots and those who are sort of in mid-table. One thing that I will quickly comment on is they're just showing the lineups on the broadcast at the moment. And it is saying that Leicester City are playing a 4-3-3. So that's a rather novel formation that we're seeing from Brendan Rodgers. He normally doesn't play that square of formation. So that's definitely going to be something interesting to discuss. And I've got just the person to discuss it with, as Ross has just tuned in. Ross, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I'll be happy to put you on here. Ross, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I ain't got long, so I'm going back to work soon. But I thought I'd give you just about come in quickly. So what's the lineup? I ain't probably seen it because I've been working.
No problem. I can put it up on screen. I actually just got confirmation from the matchday broadcast that we're going with a 4-3-3. Just to quickly run through the lineup, just across the lines, it's Schmeichel, Bertrand, Vestergaard, Soyuncu, Pereira, Sumare, and Ndidi, Tielemans, Madison, Vardy, and Barnes. Wow. So what excites me the most about this lineup is front three, which is something that we just haven't seen from Brendan Rodgers, at least any time that I could remember recently.
Yeah, that's true, to be fair. So I'm a bit skeptical when it goes to what's the word? Soyuncu. A bit skeptical.
Yeah.
But we'll
Vestergaard, of course, is a new player to the team, but I'm hopeful still that he'll be able to sort of provide that sort of marshalling voice, that experienced level head that we really see from Johnny Evans most of the time to sort of calm down the other.
They're just having a minute silence for Jimmy Greaves. Rest in peace, Jimmy Greaves.
Yes, of course.
So I'm just going to put the thing on. Right, anyway, I'm going to shoot off anyway, but my prediction is 2-1.
Love to hear it. Yeah,
Nice.
2-1 is kind of what I'm feeling as well. I don't think that we're going to keep a clean sheet today. And to be honest, I think it might come from some shaky distribution. We haven't been seeing a lot of solid distribution from Kasper Schmeichel out the back. Do you think that could be sort of a weak point for us today?
Yeah, probably. So I'm just good old Jimmy Greaves. I never saw him play, Jimmy Greaves, but from what my dad told me and stuff and everything, he was a very good player for. I think it was Tottenham mainly. I think in England as well. So right, I'm going to shoot off anyway. I'm going to go back to work, but enjoy the watch along. So
thank you kindly, Ross. Always a pleasure to have you join us. I'll let you go. So just to quickly take a moment to recognize. So yes, that was a moment's silence for Jimmy Greaves. All the players are wearing black armbands as well as the officials. So always great to see a little bit of recognition to some of the great players of the past. And yes, I hope he rests in peace, and lots of respect to him and to his family. Players are just taking the knee at the moment. Finn, how are you streaming the game? So I'm actually from Canada. And so I have an online streaming service that has the broadcasting rights to the Premier League, and that's how I'm watching the game. And rip Jimmy Greaves, of course. Nielski, just seeing you tuning in. Would love to have you join us at halftime or perhaps a little bit into the game. But please join us in just a little bit. I'm just going to run through a little bit of commentary off the bat right now, though, as we have kicked off. So let me quickly put up a score banner for us. Just need a moment to put that together. But it's just KG in the midfield at the moment, as of course we have only just kicked off. Brighton and Hove Albion, of course, in their home blue and white striped kit. And Leicester City are playing in their pink and gray third option. So let me get this up. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Leicester City 0 at the moment. Get that up on screen. So at the moment, Brighton and Hove are currently playing the ball around their defensive third. But one of the things that we are seeing is a high press from Leicester City that I think is definitely something that we don't see too often. But Brighton are playing forward with Cucurella on the left-hand side, plays it into the middle. Ball is currently with Mopai, but he is being pressured down into the mid-third. Finn, due to broadcasting restrictions, we cannot show the game as we don't have the rights to. However, I will be providing us with live commentary through the entire game, so I hope you'll stick with us here. Ball is played out of play for a Leicester City throw-in in the Brighton and Hove half due to just a misplaced pass. And we're seeing a lot of notes being taken by Graham Potter in the rain. A lot of pressing going on here on both sides of the pitch. So it looks like both teams are really just going to not give each other any peace. And we're definitely going to be seeing a very cagey affair. I like our kit, but not keen at the same time. I really feel that way as well. And I'll just get back to it in a moment as we're playing up the right wing. And unfortunately, the pass by Madison just can't quite get past Cucurella. So I think he was trying to play in Pereira on the wing, and it goes out for a Leicester City throw-in right by the corner flag. But yeah, I don't think we have any bad kits this season, but I don't think that I'll be going out to buy the third kit, especially because shipping costs a heck of a lot for me to get the kit up here to Canada, but I might get the away kit. I like the look of the mint. I always love a good pattern jersey while I'm wearing the sort of camo kit for the home shirt this season. I loved the sort of checkered away shirt, or the checkered home shirt that we had, I think, in 2018. And I'm a big kit guy. It's why you can see that I have both teams up. But yeah, I don't think any of our kits are bad. The ball is currently in the Brighton and Hove penalty area, being juggled around. Brighton do clear it a little bit, but we are maintaining that high press. Sumari making some nice plays, but unfortunately can't collect a bouncing ball, and Brighton try to bring the ball back forward, and a big tackle by Ryan Bertrand there just stops any momentum that Brighton had there and just tosses the Brighton player heels over head. Didn't quite see who that was that got turned over. That looks like Solly March, but some lovely defending there, a lovely physical defending by Ryan Bertrand there, and Fee doing my job for me, but thank you very much for that. Yes, if you do enjoy the watch along, if you are getting all of the lovely information on the match from us, please do us a big favor and just give us a like, a share, a subscribe on any of the social media channels that you might be watching on, just because that really helps us get to in front of more Leicester City fans, helps us with the algorithm. That's how I discovered this channel as well, was during last season. So if you're enjoying the watch along, please give us a like, give us some comments as well, of course, because as I'm providing us the commentary solo, essentially you all are my co-host for today. So please get your thoughts in throughout the game as Harvey Barnes comes up the left wing, plays the ball back to Sumare on the outside of the penalty area, plays it back to Barnes. But some positive attack as Barnes plays the ball in towards the penalty area, but we can't get a solid shot on it. It is cleared back to Barnes on the wing. He's pinned into the corner, but plays the ball to Bertrand, who's playing very high, and a tackle forces the ball out for what will ultimately be a Brighton and Hove Albion throw-in. However, some lovely, lovely play by Leicester City, and we're seeing a lot more attacking from Leicester City than I think we've seen in our last few matches. We're not being penned back in the way that our counter-attacking style normally allows us to be. So very, very positive from Leicester City in the opening 5 minutes of the match. And Brendan Rodgers looking very stoic on the technical area, shouting some either words of encouragement or at least some tactical advice to the players. But very positive from us so far. And Fee, no reason to apologize. I was actually thanking you for that. Thanks for giving me a reminder to just ask people to give us, of course, a like, subscribe, and, of course, engage with us in the comments. Of course, we're always a channel for the fans, and we always want to make sure that you are a part of everything that we do. So far, we're doing okay. Completely agreed. Definitely not letting Brighton shake us at all. And we're just sort of trying to shake them, really, at the start. As we come forward again, Soumare holds the ball, but unfortunately does get tackled by Solly March. Solly March has been doing reasonably well in the midfield, and the ball falls back to Vestergaard in the defense, who will play the ball back to Ryan Bertrand. George Forty just wondered, how did you start hearing about soccer? What made you follow Leicester City? How long have you been supporting them? I know you're Canadian, but how did you find out about the Premier League? So the Premier League is really the most popular of the European leagues here in at least the English-speaking part of Canada. I know Ligue 1 is really popular in Quebec, which is the French-speaking part of Canada. However, I sort of got into Leicester City. I first discovered about them in 2008. I used to buy imported magazines about football just to read about them. And there was an article about the relegation into League One and just sort of what was going on with the city. And that just sort of put them on my radar. I'd be lying if I said I actively followed them at the time, just because you couldn't really. But as they started to rise back up in the ranks and get more into the news, I just started to like them. I like Foxes, so I liked the fact that there was a team called the Foxes, and they just felt like a nice team to support. And the rest is history. As Leicester City come into the penalty area, and Harvey Barnes' cross across the penalty area just catches the arm of Sanchez in the Brighton net, which stops what probably would have landed deliciously at the feet of possibly Madison or Vardy in the area. But again, very quickly moving play by Leicester City to get into the area. And again, we are just putting some pressure on Brighton, getting them uncomfortable. Definitely looks as though Graham Potter is going to have to talk to his team at some point, just because we are getting through their midfield and creating quality chances, if not shots on target. Hate to be at the games. They're getting lashed on. I'm home nice and dry. Yeah, there is definitely rain coming down as Ryan Bertrand lines up to take the corner. I'll get back to what you asked about, George. But as the corner comes in, unfortunately, we can't get ahead to it. And Cucurella is going to chase down the ball towards Ricardo. But Ricardo does play the ball back in, but cannot get past the head of Duffy as the ball lands to Barnes. Barnes, lovely play to Bertrand, who will get the ball back to Barnes. He plays across the face of goal. But it will unfortunately fall to the Brighton defense. And Brighton are trying a quick counterattack. However, Neil Mopai very quickly pressured down by Soyuncu, who just plucks the ball from his feet, and we regroup a little bit. But yeah, just to finish off that question, I really started to get deeply into Leicester City probably over the last maybe 3-4 seasons, just after the Premier League win, just because they really started to get into the media more here. It was around the same time that DAZN, the channel that has the Premier League, got the broadcasting rights in Canada, so I could watch any game and not just the big six. And I just really like the community around the team. A run by Mopai, just very quickly tackled out by Vestergaard. Definitely been a bit of a wall in the defense, and Leicester City are able to regroup and start moving forward again. I have foxes that come into my garden. Love them. Yeah, it's you don't get as many foxes out here in Canada, but you do get them normally in like the big parks. Where normally you get like foxes in gardens and like around your wheelie bins and the like. We get raccoons all over the place here in Toronto. They're kind of a symbol of our city in a way. As Leicester City, Madison plays a deep cross in that won't find the head of Vardy, but almost finds the feet of Barnes, but just cleared out by, I believe, Joel Veltman there, as Bertrand will try to regroup our attack. Some nice back and forth between himself and Barnes. Barnes will find Vardy, who then finds Tielemans, and looks like Barnes might have taken a little knock there, as Tielemans takes a very distant shot from well outside the penalty area that was not too far away from the net. Misses by maybe about a meter to the right of the net. However, very, very close for Leicester City in these opening doors. And yes, unfortunately, just a little bit wide. It looks as though Sanchez might have had that covered. I think Barnes took a bit of a knock there, but he is back up on his feet, so nothing to worry about there. Stat test coming up as Brighton and Hove Albion are coming in on the attack, but Welbeck marshaled off the ball there, I think by Soyuncu. Some very good defending there that sends the ball back up to the midfield. Possession stats just showing for the first almost 10 minutes. It has been 75% Leicester City so far. So very dominant from Leicester so far as Maddison plays a deep cross in that will not find the head of Jamie Vardy and just trickles out for a Brighton throw. George, you've held a few foxes at animal protection events. Yeah, I know that they're definitely more prevalent out there in England and in the UK. I'd love to get the chance to see a fox at some point. I know there's a big sanctuary for them out in Japan that I'd love to travel to. Yes, definitely want to give a shout out to this actually. Out on the broadcast team, we were just talking about this. I forgot to mention it in the pre-match. Today is Jamie Vardy's 250th appearance for the club. So definitely we'll be hoping to see him get a goal or at least make a big performance just out of celebration, if for nothing else. He's been an absolute talisman for the club and a really instrumental part of our rise through the ranks. As Brighton and Hove Albion come forward, I believe it is Welbeck currently on the ball. Plays the ball through to, I just got to pull up the numbers again. Lallana holds possession, plays the ball to Veltman, who gets it back to Cucurella. Ball falls to Trossard inside the penalty area, but he is closed down by Tielemans. Can't get his cross over, but the ball does still fall to Mopai. Under a lot of pressure, he cannot get his shot off. Tielemans loses possession to Cucurella, who now is forced out to the wing. Will play the ball back through towards the corner of the penalty area. Cross is played in. Will not find any Brighton player, though, as it is cleared out. It looks like by Sumare there. Long ball also not working for Brighton as they are forced back to the midfield line. Barnes trying to put some pressure on. And it looks as though Solly March gets knocked down there. No foul is given. And we are now on the counterattack. Jamie Vardy chasing down towards the area. It is 3 against 1. Vardy is in alone at the moment. Forced to play the ball back to Barnes. Barnes to Maddison. Maddison will take the shot from distance, and that will not get past Lewis Dunk at all. Dunk with the block. Leicester City maintain possession around the midfield line. However, things have calmed down a little bit. Both teams have taken their shape more, and Bertrand will just play a little bit of back and forth with Tielemans and plays the ball across to Soyuncu. But of course, again, things have calmed down a little bit more. Teams have taken their shape, and it looks as though we're going to just wait and see if we can get some through balls forward. Ball played to Harvey Barnes out on the wing, and Tielemans will find Vardy in a little bit of space. He chases in towards the penalty area, and Vardy unable to play across past Shane Duffy, and that is out for a Leicester City corner. Do you play soccer? I love to play soccer. I am not very good. I used to play goalie for my high school team, and we were terrible. I think our best game was a 3-0 loss. Our worst game was a 7-0 loss. So I'm not great, but I always find it fun. I'm always a fan of just going out and playing some soccer when given the chance. Bertrand will line up to take this corner again. Not too many Leicester City players in the area, so it looks as though we might almost be expecting Brighton to clear and then just try to get a shot from distance as the ball comes in, but Sanchez will come right into the scrum, collect, and he's just telling his defense to calm down a little bit as they play the ball out short, but a lovely rolling ball to Cucurella. He runs at the ball with speed and does get through into the Leicester City half, and he dances past the Leicester City man that was marking him, plays the ball into the area, falls to Mopai, who takes the shot. However, that will be blocked very nicely by Yannick Vestergaard, who just gets his big form out there to block the shot, and it will not result in a shot on target. However, that will be out for, I believe, Brighton's first corner of the game. Some very nice passing for what it's worth by Brighton to get Mopai into some space, but he was never going to get that shot past Vestergaard. He was all over him in the end. Definitely would have been forced to do some dribbling at least, but he tries to take the shot, and it will not get past Vestergaard. And, of course, that was towards the away end, so Vestergaard getting a nice round of applause from the Leicester City faithful as it looks as though Solly March, Leandro Trossard will be taking this corner. A little bit of tussling going on in the area as Trossard plays the ball in, and that goes off the head of a Brighton player. It looks as though that went off Shane Duffy, out for a goal kick despite the protestations of the Brighton players. Yeah, come on, Leicester. It's been very positive from Leicester City so far in this game. Definitely feeling positive this match. We play the ball out short, and Vestergaard will try to play cross field, and he does find Madison, who's then forced to play the ball back towards Soyuncu in defense. Pretty easy run until we play Manchester United. I'm just going to quickly pull up our next few games just so I can quickly discuss that a little bit. Our next Premier League matches are going to be against Burnley and Crystal Palace. So those are definitely a few games that we would expect to win, or at least very much feel like we should win. And that's what I was talking about, this game sort of being a pace setter for us. If we can win that game and go in towards at least our match against Millwall, match against Legia Warsaw, with some positivity, some good momentum, I definitely feel like we can take a few of those games and start collecting some points to get back up in towards the European places. What were my thoughts on the Napoli game from Thursday night? We could definitely talk about that a little bit more at halftime as well. I thought it was a very cagey match. I think we brought a good game to them. I think on paper, a lot of people would say that Napoli have a better squad than us. So frankly, I was happy with the end result. I think the nature in which it happened definitely made it disappointing. I think we should have gone away with a win the way that the game lined up. But if before the match kicked off, you told me it would end in a 2-2 draw, I would have been happy with that. So at the end of the day, I think we need to make statements against Spartak Moscow and against Legia Warsaw, but I think we'll be able to do that. Yeah, there are no easy games in the Prem. It's definitely one of the more unpredictable leagues across Europe. It's not like a Bundesliga where Bayern can just win every game that they play. But again, momentum is everything. So I think that it's going to be important for us to get a good result here, put out a good performance. Pereira just getting shoved in the back by Cucurella there as he tries to defend the ball as it rolls in towards our left wing and wins a free kick that's then played backwards. And of course, we are just trying to play some short ball out the back. But Brighton playing a very high press, but we do get through it towards Harvey Barnes, who's forced to play the ball back towards Bertrand. And we do find a clearance through with Ndidi. Ndidi plays the ball to Madison. Madison with a cheeky back heel towards Samari, overcooks it a little bit, which breaks the momentum down a little bit, but we are still moving forward. Looks as though that ball is with Ricardo. He plays it back and forth, but unfortunately that ball just has a little bit too much on it, and it actually went off a Brighton defender, and that is out for a Leicester City corner kick. I rate Memphis Depay highly, so I'm actually, of course I love the Canadian national team as well, but I'm a big fan of the Netherlands teams on the national team level. And definitely Depay is sort of the character that's one of the people that's sort of carrying the front line of the Dutch national team. There are a few other players that are definitely good support for him, people like Steven Berghuis, but Depay definitely a class player. Again, Bertrand to take this corner. Trossard tries to block the short corner, plays to Tielemans, who then plays in the cross, but unfortunately he overcooks it, and that is out for a goal kick. Rebo, how am I today? I'm a little bit tired, to be honest. It's early in the morning here. It's just after 9 o'clock in the morning. Just for the record, so I'm in the Eastern time zone in Toronto. Toronto's basically east-west equivalent of New York City in Canada. So at any given time, I'm about 5 hours earlier than the time is in the United Kingdom. He's carrying Barca this year. Barca have definitely been shaky at best. They're not the same team without Messi. I thought that Koeman becoming coach of Barcelona was really bad for both the Dutch national team and for Barcelona. It's just not the right team for Koeman, and Koeman was really getting some success with the Dutch national team. But they're getting settled. I think in a little bit more time, if Barcelona give him that, he'll be able to get settled. But of course, it's hard to replace an empire, and Barcelona had an empire with Messi. It's just a cagey affair at the moment in the midfield. Anytime I just end up talking about like sidetracks and getting into to comments and things like that, it just means that there's not too much going on. However, there is a Brighton attack at the moment. Welbeck plays the ball to Cucurella, who almost finds Mopai, but an authoritative tackle from Vestergaard. But the ball then finds Trossard with some space. Lovely save by the feet by Kasper Schmeichel, who denies. Might have been Solly March who took that shot there. Oh, and a harsh sliding challenge there by Joel Veltman on Harvey Barnes. Wins a free kick for Leicester City around the halfway line. And that is the first booking of the game for the Dutch defender. who's making his first appearance for Brighton in a few matches here, and he gets booked around the 20-minute mark. I believe, Rebo, you were just asking me for what time my match is, so I am just past 19 and a half minutes, just so you can get synced up. So I'm currently at 19:41, 42, 43. My graphic is just showing the yellow card development at the moment. We're going to hit 1950 right now, just so you can get lined up. I'm not enjoying this game. It's a KG match. There's nothing too exciting to get about with this one, but I'm enjoying the game for what it's showing for Leicester City. We're getting more attacking, and I'd say a little bit more positivity than we saw, I would say, in the Norwich match, in the Wolves match. Maybe similar to how we were playing against Manchester City, but we're, of course, just not against a team that can hold as much possession as Manchester City. It's not a match that's going to make the history books, but it's a good match. And yeah, like I was saying, MSN was a once-in-a-lifetime moment. And it's going to take Barcelona a long time to sort of recreate a squad like that. Of course, they also had like so many other players that it wasn't just that front line, but the fact that they had players like Iniesta in the midfield, PK in defense. And it's just they had class at all positions, and it's going to be very hard to build a starting 11 like that. Will I be watching the Millwall game next week? So unfortunately, the time zoning for that, the game's going to be lining up right in the middle of the workday for me. So I'm probably going to I'll probably be tuning into the watch along, but I won't be the commentator for that one, just because, of course, I'm going to be at work at the time. However, hopefully we should be able to get I do know that we're going to have someone else on the Leicester team. I think Reedy is going to be doing the watch along for that. And I'll just be out in the audience, probably leaving a couple comments as the game goes. Brighton coming forward on the attack again. Cucurella offering them some space, but a cross is played in instead. Will not get past Bertrand. Veltman does beat his marker to the ball. However, it looks as though an offside call has been made against Brighton, and it will be a free kick to Leicester City. What's my occupation? I work in design. So I'm a designer by trade, essentially. So yeah, they're showing some replays of the first quality chance of the match that fell to Brighton, and it was a shot by Solly March, but he plays it along the ground and it just falls right to the heel of Kasper Schmeichel, which does give him the ability to deny the goal, of course, but it was a rather tame shot at the end of the day, just in a very dangerous space. Brighton just taking a time to sort of get themselves composed. Not as many players up front pressing for Leicester City at the moment, but of course, Jamie Vardy is even going to chase down as the ball is played back to Sanchez, just to put a little bit of pressure on. But he does make his goal kick, and the ball is currently held in the midfield at the moment with Ndidi. Ndidi is then playing the ball up. He's trying to make a bit of a run, plays the ball to Bertrand. Bertrand plays the ball to Barnes on the wing, but he cannot get past his marker, plays the ball back to Soumare. Soumare to Ndidi. Ndidi turns his man, plays the ball back to Barnes. Barnes holding the ball and is forced to play the ball all the way back to Schmeichel. Brighton doing very, very well at the moment to sort of keep and hold pressure up against the Leicester City players. Whenever they get possession, I would say up towards the midfield. Not to the point where they're making the challenges, but it is forcing us to turn around and play the ball back. Soumare being hard pressed there by Dunk and forces him into a bit of a mistake. He plays the ball to Cucurella instead of towards any Leicester City player. And now Brighton will just pass the ball around their back line. And we'll play the ball up through the middle to Trossard. Trossard is under a bit of pressure by Barnes, but plays a through ball that will go over the heads of both Bertrand and their number 20, who is Solly March. And that ball will not prove to be threatening in any way. Jay Cook, I believe, yes, Madison is playing on the wing at the moment. Madison and Barnes are our two wingers, but of course, Madison is coming back in towards the middle a little bit more because that's more his natural position, whereas Barnes has been more that sort of through ball winger. A little bit of a tussle. Tielemans goes in on a sliding challenge, but it is fair. The Brighton player is staying on the ground, and it does go just up and over, and Sanchez will collect that ball. Just a break in play. Tielemans calming everything down a little bit. Just showing well back up against Soyuncu there. Just showing this is probably going to be that challenge again. Yeah. It was just a bit of a harsh challenge on Danny Welbeck, but of course it was fair. And Welbeck is back up on his feet. Do we play enough youngsters? It's a mixed bag. I think it's also worth noting that like players are still reasonably young when they hit like 24, 25, and we have players like that on the pitch. like your Pereiras, your Soyunchus. We're not playing youth players, I would say, or at the very least, we're giving them more time as substitutes players like Dewsbury Hall, players who you normally see more often in the cup lineups. But I think we have a nice mix at the moment because when you're in sort of Leicester City's position, you're not the kind of team that can go into a season and just assume that we're going to finish 5th, 6th, even 4th. You need those sort of level heads with a lot of experience, even if they came from a team like a Southampton, just so that way they can sort of marshal those younger players. So I think we have a nice balance in that regard that makes us a really good team in terms of that we're not slanted too far one way or the other. Like Arsenal kind of lack that a little bit. They're playing a lot of young players more recently. And I think that lack of experience, whereas their more experienced players are a player like Xhaka, who even he might need sort of a player to support him a little bit, just ends up leaving their team sort of unbalanced and uncoordinated in a way. Ball coming forward for Brighton and Hove Albion at the moment. Falls to Mopai, who plays the ball back to Cucurella. A little bit of back and forth for them as they try to see who can play in a cross. A cross does come in from Mopai. Will not find Welbeck, who gets thrown over the back of Ryan Bertrand there as Yannick Vestergaard gets his head to it. But Brighton still on the attack. Yves Bissouma coming into the penalty area. He's penned in around the corner. A lot of pressure from Leicester City, though, worth mentioning. They forced to play the ball back towards Solly March. March will play the ball around to Lewis Dunk. Dunk plays the ball up to Cucurella. Cucurella plays a high cross in that will find the head of Trossard, but that will only find the feet. But he fakes the shot out, and that is a shot by Adam Lallana, but that is more of a rugby shot than a football shot as it goes up and over the bar. But again, Brighton players are finding space. A little bit of worry for Leicester City in that regard that our middle three aren't really marshalling that area in between the midfield and the defense, which is giving that space to Brighton just outside the penalty area. Vestergaard doing a good job of getting players when they do try to get into the area and making blocks when necessary. In fact, it looks as though that shot from Lallana may have even grazed Vestergaard's chest, even though it is a goal kick. However, we are giving them a little bit of respect and a little bit of space in that area. Nice bit of shout out for Mark Albright. I find he's one of the more underrated players in the squad, if not in the Premier League. The only thing with him is that he doesn't quite have the stamina to play a full 90 minutes. I find if he starts a game, he gets a little bit shakier around like the 70th, 80th minute. But he is one of the most like level-headed character players that you see in Leicester City that really helps sort of marshal the entire midfield when you bring him on at, say, halftime, 50th, 60th minute mark. And yes, please do join us at halftime. We're currently at the 27th minute mark, and would definitely love to see some of you joining and giving us your thoughts at halftime. I'm seeing a few comments coming in saying that Tielemans might have signed a new contract. I'm just going to quickly check this before I make any official statements on that. Not seeing any news around it. Of course, I'm going to wait until we get an official statement from the club on that. You definitely feel like Tielemans is the... through ball is played through to Welbeck. Welbeck, Soyuncu was the last man, and he comes in very well just to poke the ball away from Welbeck there. Welbeck didn't quite have the pace to get by him, but Brighton do remain on the attack. That was a very quick, surprising through ball to Welbeck that set up that attack. Ball currently with Cucurella around the wing. He's forced to play the ball back. Brighton just taking a chance to gain some composure again. Ball is currently with Duffy. Duffy plays the ball through to Trossard. Trossard maintains possession, takes the shot, but that is right into the chest of Kasper Schmeichel, who will take and hold that ball. And a few words that he's sharing to the defense, because again, Brighton are making their way into our area and getting some shots. They're getting settled into this match, and this game is really starting to level out. Just taking a look at some of the stats here. Brighton have both more shots and shots on target than Leicester City. Schmeichel needs to carry the team a lot. He's definitely been key for us in defense, especially when quality chances come through for the defense. I don't like to complain about any Leicester City players at all, but if I had to make a criticism of Schmeichel, though, I would say that his distribution can definitely hinder us from time to time, and it keeps us penned back into our penalty area where it then becomes necessary for him to start to make those big saves. I miss Morgan and we can't defend. So, yeah, I think it is taking some time for those new signings to really get settled into the Leicester City system. And, of course, I think our defense is always going to be missing a certain something without Johnny Evans at any given time. Currently, the ball is with Soyuncu, who will play the ball through to Ndidi. We're trying to play the ball up the middle. big tackle comes in from Bissouma, but doesn't get the ball from Ndidi, and the referee waves to play on. I wonder if he might revisit that a little bit later, perhaps for a booking, as the ball sits with Vestergaard in defense, and he plays a lovely through ball that will find Pereira, who keeps the ball in barely at the corner. He tries to play the ball off of Cucurella for a throw, but he will not maintain possession as the ball ends up with Dunk. Dunk will play the ball back to Sanchez, who plays a hoofed ball upfield that will only find the head of, that looks like it might have been Soyuncu. Trossard currently with possession in the midfield. Brighton now coming forward. Cucurella tries to play a through ball that will not find anybody but Kasper Schmeichel, unfortunately. Our 15-16 team would beat this team every day of the week, unfortunately. I'm not so sure about that. The entire quality of every team in the Premier League has definitely gone up since 15-16. So I think our performances against other Premier League teams can't really be weighed up too much versus our 15-16 teams, because I think we did pounce on what was a lot of mediocre seasons for a lot of other Prem teams. We, of course, had a lot of quality, but those players, even them, have also improved quite a bit since then. Like, I'd say Mahrez has only gotten better. Conte has only gotten better. Of course, definitely a class team, but I think this team could give them a fight. Brighton coming forward again. Danny Welbeck in the penalty area gets past Vestergaard, but Vestergaard maintains his pressure, forced to play the ball out to Cucurella, who's forced to turn around and play the ball backwards again. Nick just quickly asking when Perez will be back. I believe this is the last game that he will be suspended for, so he should be back in the lineup next time. Trossard, currently with the ball in the penalty area, does get past his man, but will not get the cross through cleanly, as it will fall to Harvey Barnes, who will play the ball out for a corner. But Trossard giving us a lot of problems as he dances through past it. Looks like he got past both Vestergaard and Soyuncu there. Just seeing a replay there. Gets past the challenge of Ndidi to make his cross in, but his cross will only find Harvey Barnes. Just taking a look, as people were saying, just to confirm, West Ham United have gone 1-0 up against Manchester United. Saeed Benrahma with the goal so far there. And, of course, these two are the only games going on at the moment. Trossard will line up to take this corner. He's waving that he's going to be crossing it in long. Plays the ball in. Ooh, and there are some waves for handball by the Brighton team. Looks as though this might get reviewed. Looks as though they might be saying that Vestergaard might have handled the ball in the penalty area. Vestergaard currently not denying that the ball hit his hand, but he is saying that it was against his body. Just showing the replay at the moment. Ooh, that could be a penalty here. That is worrisome for me. This will likely get reviewed. Vestergaard's hand was up, and that ball just does fall right into his hand off the header of Shane Duffy. The referee currently speaking with his linesman about the matter, blows his whistle and points. Looks as I can't tell whether that was pointing for a penalty or for a goal kick, though. He is conversing with both Vestergaard and Schmeichel. I'll admit that I'm not entirely certain what is going on. I'll just have to check with the commentary at the moment. A lot of discussion going on at the moment. The commentary team is also confused. It is currently being reviewed by VAR at the moment. I would say, though, I would feel as though VAR would probably end up giving this as a penalty. I'm definitely worried about it, although I have to say, if this were happening at the other end of the pitch, I'd be calling for a penalty. But it will remain in the hands of VAR at the moment as they do review this. It looks as though the referee will not be going, and the decision is a penalty for Brighton due to a handball by Vestergaard. Likely wasn't an intentional handball, obviously, but it is a penalty. It's hard to argue with it. Ball did hit the arm. Of course, it was just part of Vestergaard trying to get momentum as he jumped up for the defense, trying to get the head to the ball. But unfortunately, as he fell down, his arm trailed, and it just hits the back of his forearm. Schmeichel, of course, having discussions with the referee, just trying to get into the head of the penalty taker, just trying to see who that will be. Looks as though it's going to be Mopai to take the penalty for Brighton. Unfortunate scenes here. A bit harsh, but it is by letter of the law a penalty, unfortunately. And Mopai just taking a moment to catch his breath. Definitely a long time waiting for this penalty. Will take all the time that is allotted to him by the referee. Schmeichel dancing on his line as Mopai runs up to take it, and Schmeichel goes the wrong way. And it is 1-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. An unfortunate penalty, but I don't think anybody can really argue with the fact that it was a penalty with the letter of the law. Just like Z was saying, if it was on the other side, as Z is saying, if it was on the other side, it would have been no penalty. The luck of Leicester. We have been having some poor luck with refereeing decisions, but of course, it's the 35th minute. There is a lot of time left in this match, so of course, we will be hoping to make a comeback later on in this game. It is very unfortunate that that did end up being a penalty. Of course, it wasn't intentional, but ball did hit arm. It did stop the ball that was on its way to the penalty, or that was on its way to the goal. And as it sits, it is Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Leicester City 0. Jay saying that we aren't winning this game, and Daniel calling this the worst start to the season in a while. Brighton definitely settled into this game around the 25th-ish minute mark. However, I think it's harsh to say that we're not going to win this game. I don't think many of the people that were giving score predictions were saying that we were going to get a clean sheet. However, of course, it is always a mountain to climb any time that you end up down a goal in the Premier League. 10 minutes do remain in this first half as Leicester City do kick off, and we're already on the attack. Soumare under some pressure from Bissouma, who crashes into the leg of Soumare, and he appears to be hurt. Ben Koss saying that he was pulling Vestergaard's arm. I'm not quite sure that I saw that. Looked as more it was just an unfortunate the way that he was falling with his arm out. Is of course he had to throw his arms up to get the air that he needed to try to get the header. But of course, not great off the top of the match. We look disjointed. Need to put 2 up top, or we're not going to win, let alone get a draw. Again, our pressure was looking good at the start of this match. Just been unfortunate the way that the game has lined up, but I could see a change in formation coming at halftime. Some people are starting to talk about Brendan's status within the club. He's brought us a lot of good things over his years at the club. I'm not sure that he would get the sack by Christmas. Of course, we have been facing... We've been losing some games that we probably shouldn't have, especially if we go on to lose this match. And there have been some shaky results as well. The West Ham game obviously being called out a lot. But of course, there's a lot of time left in this game. There's an entire second half that's yet to be coming. They're just showing a replay of the penalty. Yeah, just seeing the replay. So he was pulling, but not on the arm that did end up trailing. Yes, it does appear as though Mopai was just holding Vestergaard's arm, but at the end of the day, the penalty was given, and we won't be able to get that overturned. Tielemans has the ball, plays it back towards Ndidi, who will play the ball over to Vestergaard. Vestergaard tries to turn around Trossard and will play the ball out to Barnes on the wing, but Barnes can't get turned around to face the goal, and we are forced to play the ball back towards the defense. Possession currently held by Soyuncu near the center circle. Ball is played up towards Ricardo on the wing, but again, he is forced to play the ball back. And it just seems as though possession is sort of penned into the middle third at the moment. Madison cannot get past Trossard, and the ball will end up with Welbeck, who will try to play the ball back to Cucurella. His pass won't get there, but they do manage to maintain possession as Madison will make a slight tackle on Welbeck, and it looks as though Brighton will get that throw-in. It's not unfortunate, though. Madison and Tielemans don't want to play. Look at them. It's ridiculous no way we'll finish top 5. Remember, we were here last year. Last year, these games were a must-win. It does seem a little bit odd. I find that when both Tielemans and Madison are in the lineup, they don't play well together because they're both meant for that sort of same sort of number 10 central attacking midfielder role. As Brighton do try to come forward on the attack yet again, Solly March won't be able to come through. Bertrand appealing for what might have been, I think he thinks that he got pushed a little bit, but the decision does not go his way. Again, another quick... Brighton are playing the kinds of through balls that we would be wanting to play against them, to be fair. Our defense has been very, very porous, and they're going to have some answering to do. Looks as though Bertrand might have been appealing for a goal kick, but did not get it, and Brighton do maintain possession. Tackle is made, and the ball is played upfield, but that will not find Vardy ahead of Dunk. And he will play the back pass towards Sanchez, who is well out of his goal so far. Fee's saying that he won't get the sack by Christmas, but the players are causing the problems. We will start to see some more rotation in the squad, I feel. Another lofted through ball that almost finds Solly March, but will only get to Schmeichel. Schmeichel plays the ball out short to Ndidi. Soumare, who under pressure, forced to play a rather poor pass back to Ndidi. And again, very, very high pressing from Brighton. They don't look like a team that's one goal ahead. They look like a team that's still fighting to get a lead. A lot of positivity from the Brighton team so far. Anthony Beebe saying that it was a bad decision on the penalty, but if you put yourself about, things can happen. We have been slow this game for sure, and we've been definitely giving Brighton more possession so far. And it's definitely unfortunate the way that this game is lining up. You'd feel that in the opening 15, 20 minutes, we should have deserved a goal. But unfortunately, just we haven't been getting clinical in the way that we really need to. And I definitely think that there will be changes made at halftime. If not for substitutions, we'll probably be seeing a formation change. It is just looking as though this 4-3-3 isn't working for Brendan, at least not for the system that he's trying to create. As the throw-in does end up falling to Barnes, who gets knocked over. I would have thought that would be a foul, but it's not called, and Brighton will try to counter now. As a quick back and forth, and Trossard tries to outrun Ndidi and does, plays the ball across the goal, but will not get his pass to Welbeck. Welbeck in a lot of space, but will not get the ball until he gets all the way out to the opposing wing, but he will get past Ricardo, plays ball across goal, and Schmeichel will collect the ball, crash into the post, but he holds the ball. If Brighton win, they will be second. So similarly, this was sort of what I was discussing with this is why it's early stages. You know, Brighton are not going to finish second this season, short of something incredible. So, of course, it is too early to start to see teams really settling into where they're going to finish in the Premier League. Definitely is going to be a lot of discussion around this penalty, whether Mopai holding Vestergaard could have been a penalty. Brighton coming forward on the attack again. Mopai on the wing will play a cross in, and it will hit Sayuncu in the chest, and that is out for another Brighton corner. Brighton have definitely been the better team, I would say, for the last 15, 20 minutes at least. And definitely there is going to be some questions that will need to be answered by Leicester City during halftime. There's some discussion going on the bench. Might be a substitution going on as Bissouma is still holding his leg. It looks as though that collision with Tielemans might have given him some trouble with his knee. And the corner is lining up to be taken at the moment. Ball is played in and will immediately fall to the head of Ricardo, who plays the ball out, but it will fall to Bissouma. Bissouma plays the ball out on the wing to Veltman. Veltman trying to get past Soumare, gets his pass to do so, but will only find Madison. Madison under pressure from Bissouma, but he holds the ball and gets it to roll out for a goal kick. Just some friendly conversation between Bissouma and Madison as Madison got knocked over. And now the ball played upfield towards Ricardo, who will play the ball back to Sayuncu. I'd say our problem at the moment is just that we've been playing too pedestrian. None of the players have been able to really turn and face goal, which is what we really needed them to do. And we just end up playing the ball around within our back four. I think we're all going to be hoping for a better second half. Of course, the game isn't over until the final whistle. We still have 2 minutes left until injury time in the first half. Brighton coming forward on another attack. They regain possession on a tackle, and Welbeck gets tripped up, and that will be a free kick to Brighton. And it looks as though Ndidi might get booked for that challenge. He does. Ndidi not happy, of course, with that, and that will be a dangerous free kick. Yeah, it just looks as though Ndidi catches the trailing foot of Danny Welbeck, which causes him to trip up, and that does stop the Brighton attack. Definitely a free kick. Yellow card, debatable, but at the end of the day, there's no overturning that decision. Players will line up. It's a three-person wall at least for Leicester. Four-person as Vestergaard joins in. Trossard and March both lining up as potential kick takers. We do have, again, a four-person wall. Nobody seems to be lying down behind it, so not sure that the wall's going to be jumping here. At the very least, we don't think that we're going to be playing them, playing the free kick short. I do apologize for sounding a little bit tired. Like I said, it's an early morning here, so I had to get up bright and early to get everything set up the backdrop, make sure that all the lineup graphics were made. So I do apologize if I end up sounding a little bit tired. Trossard takes the free kick, and that will go over the bar for a Leicester City goal kick. I do have a tee lined up, so hopefully as I get a little bit more of that in as well, should be getting a little bit more awake. And I will agree with this, just like I sound a little tired. The team is definitely looking a little bit tired on the pitch. I'm not sure, to be honest, there's not too much reason because there has been a fair bit of rotation in the squad from the Napoli game. A lot of these players should be reasonably well rested. However, unfortunately, like I said, our play has been pedestrian. And I think there is going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. I'm definitely hoping that we'll be able to discuss this at halftime, if any of you do come up. We will have 2 minutes of added time, and we're already almost through the first one. A lot of people asking how Maddison is still playing. He hasn't been that impactful this match, and I've defended him over the last few games, but I do definitely think that there will be space for him to come off at halftime, possibly for a Dewsbury Hall or Dhaka if we do remain a front three. Remy, so I'm Canadian, so I'm actually watching the game on DAZN, which is the official broadcaster of the Premier League in Canada. And Hayden, definitely agree with this. We are looking shaky. This is definitely more of the way that we performed against, say, Wolves or even against Norwich. It's just been a far shakier, less cohesive performance than we've seen from Leicester City in a lot of the games, especially against Manchester City. We looked a lot more cohesive and a lot more positive than we do in this game. And Feed, thank you very much just for that comment. Always great to see the support come in. If you are enjoying the watch along, please drop a like, as it does definitely help the channel grow and helps us get into the hands of more Leicester City supporters around the world. Leicester City coming forward for one final attack. Tielemans plays the ball up towards Maddison. Maddison plays a cross in, but that will only find the head of the Brighton defender, but it will fall to Soumare on the edge of the area. He's forced out towards the wing and forced to face backwards as the referee blows the halftime whistle, and that will end the first half. Brighton and Hove Albion 1 off the penalty, Leicester City 0. With that, I'm just going to pull up some halftime stats for us. Leicester City have the Lions' share of possession at 58% to 42%. Basuma back on the ground, receiving some advice from their medical team, so it definitely looks as though he could come off at halftime. Shots, Brighton dominating that statistic. 9 shots to 3, 4 shots on target to 0, both in favor of Brighton. 271 passes by Leicester to 191 for Brighton. Passing accuracy of 85% for Leicester to 82% for Brighton. Equal number of fouls and yellows for both teams at 4 and 1 yellow card. 3 corners for each side and 1 offside for Brighton. So definitely, like I said, a shaky first half for Brighton, a shaky first half for Leicester, and a very positive first half for Brighton. And they've just been finding ways to get through our midfield and through our defense. I'm going to put the link into the chat, so would love to see if some of you would like to join me for halftime. Please do give me your thoughts on the first half, any changes that you might make in for the second half. I don't think there's any fans here that are going to say that we should go out with the same formation, same lineup for the second half, because it just wasn't working so far. Santosh saying that Tielemans has been our worst player of the season so far. Again, I just think that he's not clicking when he's in the lineup with Maddison. Again, they both shine when they're both given the opportunity to play in that number 10 role, that sort of receded central attacking midfielder, playing the through balls to the center forward, typically Jamie Vardy or Nacho. And unfortunately, it's just when they're both playing together, they end up sort of out of position of each other, but they end up trying to do the same thing. We've seen that in this match. Madison has been sort of drifting into that number 10 position, which is occupied by Tielemans at the moment in this lineup. And that might be just creating a little bit of tension in that part of the pitch where we're just not able to get the ball either there or into the penalty area. We just haven't been doing well attacking up the middle. A lot of what we've been trying to do is coming in off the wings and play those crosses in, which has been putting a lot of reliance on Harvey Barnes. And the other wing, we've really been seeing more action on that wing from Ricardo than we have been from Madison on that wing. So I definitely think we could see him coming off. We did see some comments coming in from Brendan saying that players really need to earn their place on the pitch. And Madison just hasn't been doing that as of late. You know, I don't like to speak poorly about players. I think he's still a class player, but he might just need a couple matches off to regain his form. Perez is still suspended for this game, so he won't be coming back. He's not on the lineup at the moment. Santos saying, I understand that doesn't mean he loses possession for that, and he makes sloppy passes. Yeah, I think it's just been part of the shakiness that we've been seeing up front. Very similar to what Amp Brew has been saying here. Too slow, too predictable, too sloppy. Exactly. If we were more clinical in a lot of the through ball passes that we've been making, I think we definitely would have had more quality chances, possibly even a goal. But we just haven't been able to get the final 2-3 passes of the play to line up. And in some cases, we haven't even been able to make those passes because we've been falling victim to that very high press that Brighton and Hove Albion have been playing. And credit where it's due. Brighton have played well. And Patrick, I definitely agree on this. Never will score when we're just playing tippy-tappy across the back line. Much of Brendan Rodgers' tactic that relies on that sort of through ball does rely on just holding possession in the back line. But I don't know if maybe it's that we've been found out or that just we haven't had the players that have been playing too well with that, but we're just forced back to our back line, and it breaks up not only so much of our momentum, but it also then gives our opposing team a chance to rebuild their shape, which is the complete antithesis to what is needed to get a through ball through a midfield and through a back line to get a quality chance together. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's been bad passing, and I think that that is definitely terrible so far. I mean, in all fairness, just jumping back to the stats, we have had better passing accuracy than Brighton, but it is entirely possible that that has been coming through just due to how much short passing we've been doing around our back line, whereas Brighton have been definitely doing a lot more pressing, a lot more trying to get through our back line. We're not going to threaten that this game, every time we get the ball, we're going sideways or backwards. We're losing the ball far too deep. Rob, I definitely agree with that. Again, playing the 4-3-3, I thought we would be playing more of a high press. And we saw that through a lot of the match, I'd say through the opening 5-10 minutes. It was very, very positive from Leicester. We were getting in, making tackles, causing trouble. But as Brighton got more settled into the game, the tables turned. And we really started to fall victim to that high press that Brighton really started to play. And of course, they have more players up front because they're only playing 3 at the back. And what that forced our players to do was that the moment they got their back to goal, they never were able to turn around again. And their only option was then to play the ball back to the left back, the right back, even the center back, sometimes even Kasper Schmeichel. And again, the moment that happens, we lose our momentum and we give Brighton the chance to regain their shape. Lawrence, I'm seeing that you've tuned in. If you want to give me a quick thumbs up, I'll be happy to have you on. Unfortunately, he's jumped back out, so I think his internet might not have been too quality there. But yes, let's talk some tactical and lineup changes. Players to bring in, maybe Lookman or Albrighton. I think Albrighton's always a good shout as a player to bring in. When the midfield just hasn't been performing, he's the kind of player that not only puts in 110% from the minute he's brought on to the minute that he's brought off, but he also helps to sort of create a sort of mental change around the other players around him. So I think he could be a positive player to bring on. Lauren, seeing that you're back, if you want to give me a thumbs up, I'll be happy to put you on screen. Hey there, Lauren.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the first half?
The first half so far so good. You just have to work. The team has to work extra hard. Yeah, but hoping for the best. I think who carry the day. I know Leicester City is a good team.
Absolutely. Are there any changes that you would make? Any players that you want to see come on?
For now, I can't say any changes because the game is just okay. Just waiting for top scorers to score, for the strikers to score.
Of course. Yeah, it's definitely been... do you think there might be a change in formation? Because we haven't been able to get through Brighton's midfield and defense. We haven't been able to get the shots that we need to get those goals. What do you think will change? If you're not recommending any changes in substitutions, do you think we might bring another player into midfield? Maybe go to... Oh, unfortunately, it looks like his internet might have dropped. But again, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we might get a formation change if we don't get any substitutions? Some people right here saying poor formation choice and Rodgers might have lost his way. Madison's talent and value is plummeting weekly. Too many players playing poor. It's definitely been a very hard, I'd say 20 minutes, half an hour so far in the game. But yeah, I definitely think that one of the things that we saw a lot from Leicester City last season was the fact that we're very positive in second halves. We maybe haven't seen that so much so far this season, but I have faith. And I think that that's one of the things that Brendan Rodgers is best at, is waking his team up in the second half. And of course, the counter to that is that it costs us bad play in the first half. But I think that we could see some positive changes that will come in. A lot of substitutions recommendations that are coming in from the chat. Ross Bradley saying that the formation isn't working too much. It's giving too much wide space to Brighton. We need Daka with Vardy up front. Madison needs to come off. We're playing like we're winning. I definitely would agree with that, that we're welcoming way too much pressure and giving Brighton way, way too many quality chances. Ant Bruin saying that Vestergaard and Bertrand not shining today. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that. I think Vestergaard has done a very good job of stopping quality chances when they come in. He's come in with a few blocks. I think it was just very, very unfortunate that that header hit his arm, because realistically, I think Schmeichel had that part of his goal covered anyways. Just poor luck, both between the way that the decision went and the way that just the play landed. But I don't really think there's any finger pointing we can do towards the defense. They've done what they can. I think with the amount of possession that we've given Brighton, even though we've held more, the nature of the possession that we've given them and the way that we've been playing tactically has been playing against the hand of our defense, and it's been lining them up to look like they haven't been shining. But realistically, I think it's just because we've been expecting too much from them. I think that this is very fair from Santosh that Brighton were the better team, and substituting Madison off, I think we have a lot of options on players that we could bring in. We have Daka, we have Nacho, we have Lookman on the bench. Could even bring Albrighton on if we were to switch to a front two. Maybe end up playing Barnes and Vardy up front. Could play Daka and Vardy, Lookman and Vardy up front. But yeah, I think Kevin Robinson again coming in with sick to death of this passing from the back. I think this is probably going to be what we'll need to change. But of course, one of the favorite talking points that we run into a lot amongst Leicester fans is the fact that Brendan Rodgers isn't really a two-plan man. He comes in with his plan, and it is how we play for 90 minutes. I think a lot of us are going to want to see some tactical changes, but I think it will remain to be seen if anything does change tactically within maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. Jake Short, never a pen for me. Vestergaard clearly got held down by the arm, and why didn't the ref look at the monitor? Midfield very sloppy so far. Barnes, Vardy, and Madison hardly getting service. Tactics need changing at halftime. Again, I'm not so sure that we're going to see a tactical change just because that's not Brendan Rodgers' way, and he is who he is. I think we're going to see a lineup change. I think we're going to see a change in formation, probably a substitution. Again, Bertrand was getting held, but it's one of those decisions that just, it varies from referee to referee, and unfortunately the decision didn't go our way this time. But what ends up having to happen is, whether it was a penalty or not, we've gone into this game 1 goal down. And this is where Brendan Rodgers is going to earn his money. We're going to have to see him making changes, getting into the players, expecting more from the players that we need to be seeing differences from in this game. Madison, Tielemans. we need to start seeing better play from them. I think Ndidi does deserve a bit of credit. Despite the fact that he's gotten a booking, he has done well at sort of marshalling that midfield, but definitely some changes need to come for the second half. Calling for Brighton to come on. Will Cuffers also calling for Brighton to come on. Lookman would also be a very positive substitution. I'm not so sure that we're going to see Brendan using 2 of his substitutions at halftime. He tends to be the kind of manager that saves his substitutions for later on in the match. But I think if we see something like that, it's going to be a very positive change for halftime. And a lot of people definitely saying that Tielemans, at very least Tielemans or Madison, would need to come off. A lot of players saying that they're walking on a tightrope at the moment. What has happened to us so far this season? It's definitely been shaky at best. A lot of the players have been, they haven't been at the form that we've expected from them. I'm not really sure why that would be the case because they've had the chance to get rested, but definitely going to need to be some discussions amongst the players so far. Dave Gavin saying all players are underperforming. Tielemans, Madison has been a passenger. I hope that Brendan smells the coffee and makes changes. Lookman, Dewsbury Hall, and Nacho. Again, some good call-outs there as some positive players up front. However, I will call back to some of the earlier comments. I think it was Santos that was saying that our front line just hasn't been getting service. So I think before we can start looking at our wingers, we really need to take a look at the midfield and bring on some players who can maintain possession better. Maybe some players who will be able to turn around their markers and get some service to the players that really need it for us to be able to get up front, get shooting, get shots on target. Kevin Robinson, it's the same every game. What happened to the fearless counterattacking Leicester? Can't even blame injuries for the gutless first half. Yeah, players are currently in the tunnel at the moment, and there's a lot of internal discussion. Brendan Rodgers actually having some words with the officials at the moment, so definitely looks as though there's some disagreement among the Leicester ranks with the decision that ended up leading to that Brighton penalty. However, again, at the end of the day, we can't change that decision. But we are definitely going to be hoping to see some different from Leicester. I'm not seeing any new players without jackets on at the moment. So just as I say that, Ademola Lookman is just in his shirt. He doesn't have his jacket on, and he is putting on his cleats. So it is looking as though maybe not KDH coming on, but we will likely be seeing probably one of those Tielemans or Madison players coming off, probably for Lookman. And that, I think, is a very positive change. Yes, the graphics are just showing discussions amongst the fourth officials, Lookman getting his tactical briefing. So Ademola Lookman is going to be coming on here. Rogers, just do one and clear off. Take your fancy dance with you. This is turgid football. Bring back Puel. I think, Steve, that is the first time I have seen, since I became a Leicester Fan TV member, someone calling for a return to Claude Puel. But everybody is able to have their opinion. So Cruz Gomez coming in saying that we'll have a 1-2 finish. I would definitely love to see it. That was my score prediction at the start. I am just able to confirm. So the substitution that is being made is that James Madison has come off and Ademola Lookman has come on. Yves Bissouma is going to be staying on the field despite the trouble that his knee has given him. He's playing with a compression bandage on his knee. So I think we might see him coming off. A lot of players, or a lot of fans saying that they are feeling good that Madison is coming off. Formation, at least from what I am seeing on the graphic, both teams are staying with the same formation. So a 4-3-3 is how it will stay for Leicester City. And just to keep you all updated, we have kicked off. And Brighton do maintain possession at the moment, just passing the ball around amongst their back four. CK, hate to say it, and I'd love to be proved wrong, but Yuri is playing like a guy who knows that he's off in January. There have been a lot of rumors about Yuri leaving the club. However, I'm not sure that he would play as statically as he is. I think that there might be some stress on him around whether or not he'd be staying at the club. However, I feel as though a player that wants to leave would typically want to put in a good performance. something that would make other clubs want him, because especially if he wants to go to a club like, say, he was rumored that he might go to Liverpool. Liverpool have a lot of quality players in that position. He needs to prove to a manager like Jurgen Klopp that he would be able to be a rotation player. And a performance like this wouldn't cut that. A lot of players are saying that they are glad that Maddison came off. Positive subs. Steve, I wouldn't say that we're awful under Rodgers. This has been a shaky start to the start of the season, but one of the things that Brendan Rodgers has gotten us is stability. Of course, we are still early in the season, but we've been getting those finishes in the season in that sort of 4th, 5th, 6th position. And I think that that's very positive for Leicester as we begin to try to establish ourselves as more of that Europa League level, challenging for Champions League level English league team. Ball is currently with Lookman, who can't quite get past Cucurella, but some early attacking from Leicester City in this half, just 1 minute in. However, now Brighton coming in on a counter-attack. Ball currently with Trossard, who is under a lot of pressure by Ndidi, gets pushed off the ball. Play does get stopped, but it was for a free kick for Leicester City, and that play gets called off, so it does look as though it was, in fact, a free kick for Brighton. Jason Bateman, a lengthy comment coming in here. I'm really sorry I'm going to say this, but Maddison doesn't seem to be playing. Looks like he's playing for himself. Tielemans doesn't even want to be the club. When are we going to stop with the boring comments? Both are shocking at the moment. We have far better players who are better right now. I think there's a lot of reputation that precedes those players. That might be why they get more starting time, as well as the fact that they are part of Brendan Rodgers' system. Very positive attack coming in at the moment. Harvey Barnes unfortunately stopped in the penalty area, but Jamie Vardy has the ball. He takes his shot across the face of goal, and unfortunately, it will go just wide. But another positive attack by Leicester. 2 quick chances early on in this second half. Glad Matters is off. Watch, we get a goal in the first 19 minutes in the second half now. Come on, you Blues. Definitely looking more positive now in this first half, or sorry, in this first part of the second half. Again, a lot of quality chances. Looks as though I think that might be Solly Marsh, or sorry, Duffy might have gotten hurt there as Jamie Vardy just trips over Duffy as he tries to make the block. But he is back on his feet, and a free kick to Brighton in the Leicester defensive third. I think this is worth mentioning as well. An FA Cup win, Charity Shield win within a few months. Again, I think we have very high expectations, as we should, as a club that is moving up in the leagues. But it's important for us to remember that it's very hard to break into the top 4 and to establish yourself as a Premier League club, as a team that can really get up there at that level. There's 2 ways you can go about it. You can set super high expectations and come in and expect that you're going to be signing big players, put a lot of money in. That's sort of like what Blackpool did. The free kick comes in. Oh my goodness. And it is 2-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. And it is Danny Welbeck. It was a very well-played cross, and just none of our defense could get near the ball. And as it ends up, the ball goes into the back of the net. Schmeichel could not get to the ball as it was played a very good header across the face of goal. And as it stands, it is now Brighton 2, Leicester 0. Unfortunately, that ball just it looks as though for some reason the marker on Welbeck was Jamie Vardy. I don't know why we didn't have one of our defensive midfielders or even one of our center backs marking Welbeck, but the ball just ends up going higher over Vardy than he's able to jump. Brendan Rodgers obviously not pleased on the sideline. And unfortunately, it does now look very difficult for us to have a chance to get back into this game. Jason, it's embarrassing. I feel sorry for our fans going to that game. Unfortunately, very tough for us to get back into the game now. But of course, there is still time. Just going to give a quick check to the other scores as well. As it stands, Manchester United have equalized against West Ham. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring in the 35th minute. So that match stands at 1-1. Jamie Vardy pressuring high up on the pitch, but it will go back to Sanchez through a header. It is a bit of a tough game to watch because we started very positively, but for some reason, we just haven't been able to break down Brighton. And not only that, but Brighton have been able to just get quality chances when they do get through our back line. Lookman has the ball up against Cucurella at the moment, plays the ball to Tielemans, who will play the ball to Soumare. Soumare finds up the field towards, I think that's Barnes. Yes, Barnes gets his way around Duffy. Under pressure by 3 players, forced to play the ball back towards Soumare. Soumare will play the ball back to Barnes, but he is under a lot of pressure, has no forward angles. Will play the ball to Tielemans. Tielemans gets some space, tries to play a shot out from distance, but will get stopped. Sean, seeing you coming in, if you'd like to join me just for a few minutes, just give me a quick thumbs up and I'll add you onto screen. Sean, how are you doing? A bit of a tough game to watch.
It is. But I'm not happy.
I don't think many Leicester fans are. What do you think needs to change at the moment? Like, is there a point where we're just not getting the performance that we need?
Yeah. We need to put good, on there because I mean, if we'd been in that mess, we should put on good, striker and that's it.
That's fair. I think we are probably going to see another substitution coming up soon. I don't think Brendan is going to have many options except to get more attacking. Just going to quickly commentate as Tielemans gets the ball further upfield. Again, for some reason, Tielemans has been trying to play a lot of shots from distance, and that one will trickle wide of the net. But we are seeing Leicester making more pressure, at least, than they were making earlier on, especially in the first half. However, for some reason, Tielemans has not been having a great game. His passes haven't been making the mark, and his shots have been trickling wide. Do you think he should be the player to come off for Dewsbury Hall?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we will see that. I'm going to let you go for now, but please do join us at full time, all right? Before I let you go, updated score predictions. So Brighton have 2. Do you think we can come back and win this game?
I think so, yes.
All right, what do you think your final score is going to be?
3-2.
3-2?
Oh, Leicester.
I hope we'll see it. All right, I'm going to let you go, Sean, but thanks for joining me. Yeah, CK saying we're shipping in goals for fun, and this isn't acceptable. There's definitely going to be some questions to answer. If this game stands as is, questions are going to need to be answered by the players, and questions are going to need to be answered by Brendan Rodgers. Daniel Bradbury saying this is going to end 3 or 4-0 to Brighton. And this is just giving me a bit of a chuckle. Babatunde 2-1-2-1 coming in. Rodgers out, Big Sam in. Of course, like we used to joke about with Claudio Ranieri, we are still in that quest to get 30 points. And until we get that 30, we're not guaranteed. Ball is played in for a Brighton free kick. Was knocked on by a header by March, it looks like, but it did not end up finding any feet of any Brighton players. But a good challenging opportunity for Brighton. Unfortunately, just doesn't find the foot of Lewis Dunk in the Leicester City penalty area. But another quality opportunity for Brighton there, as Soumare just couldn't get his foot there either to clear the ball out. And that will be a Leicester City goal kick that we again play short, and we're penned back in our defensive third. Imtiaz, yes, I did mean 40 points, just to be clear. Always good to see Sean coming on again. This has been worrying for me. I thought a lot of our signings were going to help us get better at set pieces, but we're still looking just as worrying, both in terms of how we play on the attack for set pieces and how we defend set pieces. We're looking very, very weak. And Rebo, nearly another goal. Our defense is being sloppy, absolutely. It's really just been sloppy all around. I would say we've been 4s and 5s across the pitch. No player has really shined this game. No penalty for Brighton as they did come in, and it looks as though Danny Welbeck fell down in the area, but under very little pressure from Leicester City there. No penalty given, and ball is played on. Ball with Cucurella out on the near the halfway line on the wing. Plays through to Mopai, gets knocked down by Tielemans, no foul. Tielemans will try to play Vardy. Vardy will get the ball ahead of Dunk, but cannot play a clear pass towards Lookman, who is under immense pressure from Cucurella. Ricardo will end up reclaiming the ball. However, possession does end up with Brighton, as the ball is currently held by Lallana. Lallana's pass is intercepted, however, and it now sits with Tielemans near the center circle. Tielemans playing back and forth with Lookman. Not really any clear passes, unfortunately, as the ball will then end up with Soumare. Soumare will play a lofted ball that will try to find Lookman on the wing, and it does. He's under pressure from Cucurella. He will play the ball, that is Ricardo with the ball, who plays the ball to Lookman. He can't get across, and it bounces off Cucurella and out for a throw-in, which is taken quickly. Ball with Tielemans in the penalty area, but it is easily dispossessed. Now Brighton are trying to regroup, but they are under some high pressing from Leicester, but they do get the ball clear. Ball with Soyuncu out near the front line, but his pass will not find Ricardo, and that is out for a Brighton goal kick. What changes do we have to make to improve our season? I think we have to stop playing Tielemans and Maddison together. One of them, when they play, they're sort of a shining player in the midfield, but I think it might be time for us to start playing Dewsbury Hall, Daka, Iheanacho more up front, and let Tielemans and Maddison sort of be rotation players for each other. They are both starting quality players, but they don't play well when they're together. I think our fan on the coaches might take a long nap on the ride home. Quick shot was taken there by Soumare, who was there in space, but he was marked by the last man. Unfortunately, that ball does fall right into the hands of Sanchez. Daka on, we need pace up front. I think that is a good call. I think we could see, just double checking our formation here, possibly Barnes could come off, but I don't think Barnes has had a terrible game. Again, he just hasn't had much surface. I think we could maybe see some of the players in the midfield come off. Brighton coming forward at the moment, but it is just one man up front. It is Trossard, who can't get the ball ahead of Bertrand, who will clear the ball out for a throw-in. Just taking another look, I think we could see Tielemans come off for perhaps for Daka, and then we could see Barnes make his way back into the midfield and just a shuffling around in the formation. One season on, and we just haven't improved. If you are up and ready, Michael, I'd love to have you come on. Would just be great to have someone to bounce back and forth with. You've also always bring a lot of positivity on. I do, however, know that it is super early there, so definitely, if you're able to, I'll drop the link in for you. Otherwise, would be happy to have you come on at full time at the very least. So as it stands, the ball is currently being passed around in the midfield. Currently being held by Brighton now, however. A nice tackle from Ndidi. However, his pass will not get past Bissouma. Bissouma plays a slow back pass that Vardy will try to chase down, but it will not get there ahead of Sanchez. And yeah, exactly. Just woke up to this madness. Not the kind of thing that you would want to see as you wake up. Not a great, it hasn't been great from Leicester so far. We have been rather sluggish and just not playing the kind of positive football that we need to be playing. There hasn't been the pace. There hasn't been the accuracy that we, I would say that we saw against Manchester City, even in a game that we lost on an unfortunality. Ndidi getting pulled down by Trossard, but does make his pass to Vardy. Vardy will play the ball back to Soumare. Soumare plays the ball across to Ricardo. Positive attacking football as he does find Lookman in some space. He loses Welbeck, but cannot get his cross in. Maintains possession under pressure from Cucurella. Will play the ball over to Tielemans on the corner of the penalty area. Plays back to Lookman. Lookman forced to face backwards, though, and we'll play the ball back to Soyuncu. However, we are still up in the middle third, putting pressure on. Ball played back to Tielemans, who's now playing out on the wing. Plays the ball back to Ndidi in the center of midfield, who will play the ball to Bertrand, who's playing very high upfield at the moment. Over to Soumare up on the wing. Plays across and tries to find a player, but will not get that past the head of the Brighton defender. Header from Ndidi will then find Soumare out on the wing. A little bit of back and forth, but Brighton doing a very, very good job of closing down the angles. Soyuncu has the ball over at the center circle, brings the ball forward. Tielemans not happy to not receive that pass, but a lovely pass will find Ricardo right by the corner flag. He finds Lookman, little bit of back and forth, plays the ball to Tielemans, who plays it across goal. Goal! And that is one back for Leicester City. Jamie Vardy has scored to give a goal back to Leicester City, and we are back in this game. That was some lovely passing back and forth. We got the ball, we maintained possession, and that is the kind of play that we need to see up front. I will come back and just say you do have to give Brighton for the performance, but more importantly, let's go! That is a goal back, and we have a goal, and most importantly, to channel my inner Tom, it's Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Leicester City 1. So we are now seeing that little bit more impetus that we have needed from Leicester City and a little bit more energy. I think you can hear that's woken me up a little bit, and it's still early in the morning here. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Leicester City 1. First change being made for Brighton as Mwepu will come on. I didn't get the chance to see who on for Solly March. So it looks as though we might now have a little bit more impetus and a little bit of shakiness among Brighton, although they are coming forward quickly. Ball is with Welbeck on the outside of the penalty area. Gets knocked down. No free kick. Forced to play the ball back to Veltman. And the free kick is given on the outside of the penalty area. A lot of protestation from Ricardo. This is dangerous. Colin Mackin, going to be a candidate for goal of the year, to be fair. Definitely would agree on that. Very similar to Vardy's goal against Wolves. It was the build-up that made that a special, special goal. Fee, very quick. Want to say thank you for that super sticker. Always great to see some support coming in for the channel. Helps us pay for things like our subscription to StreamYard. Thank you so much. Helps us keep the channel running. Thank you for the £1.79. Ben, I don't believe it was a penalty. It's a free kick on the outside of the area, but very, very close. It will be Bissouma to take, although Trossard and Mopai are hanging around, but looks as though it's both Trossard and Bissouma standing over the ball. Very, very big wall for Leicester City, a 5-man wall. Tielemans even standing on the side of it as well. It looks like Harvey Barnes is unfortunately the man who is left lying down behind the wall. I think if we can get the combination of the goal and if we can defend this well, we'll have some momentum. Bissouma takes, and it is well blocked by Tielemans on the shoulder. He's doing some shouting, getting some high fives. And of course, let's not let that diminish the momentum from the fact that we got a goal. The comeback is on. It's still a 2-1 scoreline. Foxes never quit. Let's dig deep. And yes, we did save it. We could still go for the draw as Trossard sets up the corner. Players are tussling around a little bit. Lewis Dunk getting sure held by another Brighton player as the corner comes in, but that will not get past the towering head of Yannick Vestergaard. Ball will fall back to Mwepu. He will play the ball over towards March. Whose cross will, or sorry, not towards March, towards Veltman, but his cross will not find Trossard, and that is a Leicester City goal kick. Yes, sorry, I had changed the banner. Unfortunately, because I left the banner on screen, it remained at 2-0. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I changed it during the goal animation, and unfortunately, if I forget to take the banner down, it doesn't update. CK, we do score some nice goals, but it isn't always going to come off. And that's when we have to get dirty and scrap for goals and not look to score the perfect goal every time. And I think that's exactly what we're going to look for. We just need to get in there and just get a shot on target. And we are working on doing that right now as Ricardo gets the ball, and he will play a through ball that will find Lookman, but he can't get the cross in. But what he has done is he has earned us a corner kick. And he's taking some time to just wave up the Leicester City faithful because, of course, they are behind the Brighton goal right now, and we need every ounce of noise we can get. So, as it stands, it is a Leicester City corner. Lookman is doing the work that we need from him at the moment, and it looks as though it's going to be Bertrand to play the corner kick in. He waves that he's going to be playing this in long. There is no player for him to play it short to. Anyways, plays the cross in. and a diving header, and it's in! And that is the comeback completed. It is 2-2 to Leicester City. A gorgeous diving header. Looks as though the referee is getting involved, though. This goal might not stand. There is some protestation in the area. I'm going to need to see what this debate is over, because the ball is in the Brighton net as it stands. Just seeing a replay of the corner, looks as though it might be called. I do not see any reason why this goal would be called off. There might have been a collision. However, there's some discussion going on between Vardy and the referee. The scoreline hasn't been updated. They're checking for an offside as it stands. I guess it is whether or not Harvey Barnes touched the ball and whether it went off his knee. It wasn't the diving header that would have scored. It would have been Ademola Lookman. I'm not sure that touched Harvey Barnes' knee. It doesn't look like it based on the trajectory to me, but of course I am very biased. So they are currently checking to see if this goal will get called off for offside, and it has been called off for offside. However, we are getting there. We have scored off of a corner. Just unfortunately, it wasn't allowed due to the deflection off of Harvey Barnes' knee. However, it's positive. And that is what we need from this team at the moment. Lookman has been putting in a shift. You can see a lot of yelling going on between the Leicester City attackers. So, as it stands, like, there is a little bit of a momentum shift, and I think we can start to hope to see some positivity coming forward from Leicester in this case. Timmy Castagna has come onto the field for Ryan Bertrand, so we are going to be getting someone new delivering in the corners, and a little bit of added energy on the wing as well. And we are already on the attack again. Yuri Tielemans playing the ball across. Castagna gets his first touch. A little bit of back and forth between him and Barnes on the Leicester City front midfield. However, Castagna is forced to turn around. He plays a high ball over to Çağlar Söyüncü. Söyüncü holds the ball, plays the ball over towards Tielemans. Tielemans under some pressure, but plays a lovely through ball that will just barely not find Ricardo ahead of Cucurella, but we have a throw-in in the front third. Lookman has the ball up against Cucurella. Finds Ricardo. Ricardo with a lovely back heel to Tielemans. Tielemans gets the cross in. Will get headed out. I believe that was by Dunk or Duffy. And the ball will be out for yet another Leicester City throw-in. However, we are getting in there and we are making chances. It is a corner kick. Tielemans is now our corner kick. Rebo, yes, that does in fact look like what it was. Very similar to the offside decision that went against, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting his name, against Norwich City. Norwich had a goal called off for a very similar reason, that the offside player, even though he didn't touch the ball, he was obscuring the goalkeeper's position. Oh, and you actually did just mention in there, yes. So that was why Norwich didn't get a goal, and as it stands, is why we didn't get a goal either. So ultimately, it wasn't that Barnes was interfering with play, it's that he was obscuring Sanchez's vision. Appears to be why that did end up getting called off. Danny Welbeck, one of the goal scorers, I believe, for Brighton, is coming off for Dan Burn as Tielemans plays the corner in, and it will get headed out. However, it will only fall as far as Soumare, who will play the ball back to Ricardo. Ricardo plays the ball to Tielemans. He fakes out Cucurella with a fake cross and will find Ricardo. He gets into the penalty area. Plays the ball to Lookman. Lookman with the shot that gets blocked by Lallana, but we retain possession. Ball currently held by Soumare, who gets knocked down by Mopai. Mopai under pressure from Ricardo. Ricardo forces Mopai to play the ball back to Bissouma. Bissouma plays the ball out, and that is a Leicester City throw in the Brighton defensive third. We have 20 minutes left in this game. A little bit of complaining coming in about the referee. Very similar to the Napoli and the Manchester City game. Decisions aren't going our way at the moment, but it's frustrating. But at least what we're seeing is that we haven't given up. And the players are doing our best to win, despite the fact that some of these decisions have not gone our way. Right side again looking fantastic. Yes, Lookman has been making an incredible difference on this match since he has come on. And who knows, maybe that bringing on of Castagna for Bertrand can bring us some of that magic on the left wing as well, because the wings have been so critical to us. Oh my goodness, Lookman nearly intercepts a back pass by Brighton that forces them to play a ball out of just a blasted ball that will break down Brighton's momentum, and it is out for a Leicester City throw just past the halfway line. Lookman, very, very impressive, I would agree so far. Definitely making his case to be one for the future. Ball currently with Sanchez, who plays the ball out under pressure from Jamie Vardy. He will not, however, find Mwepu, and it is out for a throw-in that Castagna will take quickly. Ball held by Ndidi on the halfway line. He will play the ball to Tielemans. Tielemans gets muscled down, and that is a free kick to Leicester City against Adam Lallana. Just going to actually make a quick change back to our normal banners that we use for the watch along. There we go. Tielemans currently plays the ball over towards Ricardo on the wing, but Cucurella holds him back and forces him to turn around. Tielemans forced to turn around as well, and the ball is played back to Soyuncu. Soyuncu plays the ball to Vestergaard, who plays the ball up to Barnes on the left wing. However, Barnes doesn't have any open passing opportunities, but he dances through two markers and retains possession. Plays the ball back to Castagna. Castagna plays the ball to Soumare. Soumare plays the ball back to Vestergaard. Vestergaard doesn't have any open passes at the moment, but he might have an opening on the wing, but he can't make the pass. Soumare plays the ball to Soumare, who will play the ball to Castagna. Castagna plays the ball back to Vestergaard. Vestergaard to Ndidi. Ndidi finds Lookman up the middle. He gets around, I think that was Byrne. But unfortunately, the pass is intercepted, and passes intercepted again by Ndidi, who does some lovely play to maintain possession. Ricardo can't collect the ball in front of Cucurella, however, and Brighton will get the chance to regroup. It is with Lallana over towards Cucurella near the halfway line, but we are keeping Brighton in their half. Just as I say that, Brighton make it out of their half. It's Lallana under pressure from Ndidi at the moment. Plays the ball to Cucurella. That ball is intercepted, and it is currently with Ricardo. Under pressure, makes the pass back to Vestergaard. Vestergaard plays the ball to Castagna. Marc Cucurella has been doing quite well for Brighton in this game. Tielemans been shaky, but starting to come into his own. I feel like we like to joke about Brendan Rodgers throwing the bottle at the halftime. I feel as though a bottle got thrown at halftime this game. Castagna has a little bit of back and forth with Soumare. Can't get the through ball to Vardy quite, but that is out for a throw into Leicester City in the Brighton defensive third. Again, the pressure is on Leicester at the moment. And senior man Kelechi Iheanacho is coming on. I would assume that, he is coming on for Soumare. So we are going quite attacking upfield. So that is going to be a lot of attacking players coming forward. Definitely going to be some shuffling within the lineup, most likely, to accommodate. I would assume Lookman might be going back into midfield to let Nacho go up front. But a lot of pace and attacking ability up front for Leicester City now does also mean that Tielemans will be playing the full 90 minutes as well. Here comes Iheanacho to score one because he wants to. I definitely hope that we will see that. And you know that I'll yell if we do. Barnes currently has the ball on the wing. His cross will not get into the area with Cucurella. Cucurella ball then falls to Ndidi. Ndidi plays the ball to Lookman. Lookman forced to run backwards a little bit. He is under some intense pressure, but dances around Adam Lallana. Will play the ball to Ndidi. Ndidi will play a cross in that unfortunately will not find anyone. But we have got to give some credit to Lookman there, who just made Lallana look like a fool. Iheanacho guarantees work rate. I think that is one of the big things that was lacking in the first half, was some solid work rate from Leicester City. And yeah, that Ndidi cross, not great. But we're getting possession in the defensive third. We are penning back Brighton. At the moment, we're currently looking like Brighton did in that first half. There's a lot more positivity around this Leicester City side. And I'll admit, I'm optimistic that we can pull this back for a draw. We have already put the ball in the net twice. Harvey Barnes, I think he has had a shot on target. He's definitely had a couple shots off target at the very least. I don't know for sure that he's tested Sanchez yet. It's hard for me to keep track because of the distance of the TV camera. I can't always keep track of who's taking the shots if the player is facing the camera, and all I can see is the front of the shirt and not their back. Ball currently with Ricardo, who will play the ball out to Castagna. Castagna has acres of space and the chance to sort of settle play down a little bit. Looks like Barnes might be trying to get a through ball play. He will collect the pass, but unfortunately he had to stop his run. He is going to run past Veltman. Veltman just doesn't have the pace to keep up with Barnes, but he will stop Barnes's cross from coming in, and that is out for a Leicester City corner kick. Again, some positive play coming in from Leicester City. Yuri Tielemans to play the cross in from this side as well. And Yannick Vestergaard, his towering figure, is in the penalty area, but that ball will not get past the first Brighton man. But it does fall to Castagna, who plays it back to Tielemans. Tielemans takes a second chance at the cross. That cross will not get past Veltman. Veltman then heads the ball. I think that will land at Basuma. Basuma heads the ball, but that will get intercepted by Castagna. Castagna then plays the ball back to Ricardo. Ricardo and Castagna passing the ball back and forth near the center circle. He will play the ball over to Tielemans. Tielemans almost playing as a winger at the moment, who will play the ball to Vestergaard. Vestergaard plays the ball to Ricardo. Currently, a stat being shown that shows the goal threat and has currently been about 90% for Leicester City. Is the LCFC playing well? We were not good in the first half, but we have been very good over the last about 15, 20 minutes. And we currently have an attacking chance right now as Harvey Barnes tries to run into the penalty area. He gets tackled and wins another Leicester City corner kick off of Mwepu. So I'm from Canada, so I actually have a live stream from the official broadcaster here in Canada. That's how I'm watching the game. All right, cross comes in from Tielemans, and it finds that as Soyuncu, of all people, who will head the ball just over the top of the net. But again, positive play from Leicester City. And definitely, I would say this is the best football we've seen from Leicester so far this match over probably the last 15 or so minutes. Do have some Brighton fans that are joining us as well. Honestly, join us at full time if you'd like. Always good to get some views from both sets of fans. Last 15 minutes, we can do the comeback or get the win. They need to get the motto into their head that Foxes never quit. Funny enough, it kind of looked like we kind of quit in like the first half hour of the game. However, it's changed over the last 15 minutes. Thanks very much, Gail. Definitely doing my best to make sure that everything gets covered. Big standing ovation at the moment from the Brighton faithful as Yves Bissouma does come off the field for Jakob Moder, who will come on. But again, no formation change from what I am seeing from Brighton as they are still playing a 3-4-2-1. Pretty much, Kevin, it takes us to go one or two down before we actually start playing. It's the Leicester way. It always helps get the heart rate going to support Leicester City. At the moment, Cucurella has the ball out. Oh, my goodness, and he has played a lovely through ball to Mopai, who has just completely scuffed the shot. I can only imagine he must have been called offside to play a shot like that. He essentially toe-punted a volley that curves well away from Schmeichel's goal, and that is a goal kick for Leicester that is played short to Soyuncu. Soyuncu plays the ball to Vestergaard, and it is played out to Castagna on the wing. He will have a bit of back and forth, 1-2 with Harvey Barnes. Tielemans will collect the ball and plays the ball back to Barnes. Barnes, who's fighting with Veltman at the moment. He dances past Veltman, gets the ball to Tielemans. Another back and forth. The ball falls to Barnes, who takes the shot, and unfortunately, it will go across the face of goal. But some more positive game from Leicester City. Thank you very much, Michael. But you know what? You definitely bring a great energy and positivity to the game. I think also one of the great things that's helping us here is that Leicester are bringing a brighter, more positive game that can definitely help us get a little bit more morning energy going out here, at least for Michael and myself in North America. Cucurella will take the shot, but it is immediately intercepted by Ndidi. That ball then falls to Vestergaard after a little bit of a back and forth with Brighton, who will play the ball out to Castagna. There are acres of space on the wing, but unfortunately no Leicester City players occupying it. Castagna forced to play the ball back to Vestergaard, and both teams got a chance to sort of reclaim their shape. little bit of back and forth, finds the ball to Soyuncu. Soyuncu plays the ball to Ricardo. Ricardo tries a lofted through ball to try to find Lookman, but that will not get over the head of the Brighton defender. And that ball is hoofed out of play. Cucurella cannot keep the ball in play. And that is out for a Leicester throw-in that Ricardo will take. Ricardo throws the ball into Ndidi, who plays the ball right back to him. High cross that will then find Vestergaard in quite a bit of space in the middle of the park. He will play the ball to Barnes, and Castagna finds himself as the winger, but it will not get played to him. It will get played to Ricardo on the opposite wing, up against Cucurella. Cross comes in, will not find Barnes, however, only finds the head of a Brighton and Hove Albion player. That ball is still in the penalty area, falls to Lookman with some space. He plays the ball to Vardy, who takes the shot, and it is off the crossbar. Oh, that was a lovely shot. I apologize, I called that Jamie Vardy. However, that had taken a deflection from a shot off of Harvey Barnes, and that just hits the crossbar off of that deflection. So again, some lovely, lovely play by Leicester. Cross is played very quickly by Tielemans, but it was a poor cross in the end that does not beat the first man for Brighton, and it is a Leicester City throw-in. 9 minutes remain in this game, and as it stands, Leicester City have been piling on the pressure. Ball currently with Ricardo, finds Lookman, who dances past Lallana, and he gets tripped. And a free kick is given on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. And if there was a chance for Leicester City to score, this is going to be it. It is very close to the penalty area. They're just showing a replay. Oh my goodness. Lookman was, I would say, about an inch or two, a few centimeters away from the penalty area, but it is not a penalty, but very, very close, and a very close free kick. Looks as though Nacho and could that be Ricardo standing over this? Again, much like the very close free kick that Brighton had, it is a sizable wall for Brighton, a 5-man wall as Ricardo and Nacho stand over this ball. Brendan Rodgers looking very focused on the sideline. Lots and lots of players standing nearby. Lookman providing some attacking threat along with Barnes and Ndidi inside the penalty area if we choose to play the ball close to the wall. Looks as though Leandro Trossard is going to be the player who is left lying down behind the wall. In total, 4-man wall for Brighton with a man lying down behind. 6 Leicester players in the area. We play the ball with a short pass to Tielemans. Cucurella wise to the plan, though, and he will get the ball ahead of the referee. However, the referee will call play off due to the fact that the ball had bounced off of him, and it will be a drop ball. Mopai just being a little bit cheeky at the moment, trying to waste a little bit of time with some keep-ups. Tielemans will get the ball from this drop, and he will play the ball to Ndidi. And again, we are right back on the attack. Timmy Castagna plays some back and forth with Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes very well marked, and that ball goes out of play for a Brighton throw-in. Ball currently stands. I think that might be... Oh, an immediate tackle. And now Barnes making his way through. He dances past the man marking him. Oh, my goodness. And Ademola Lookman has just sent 2 Brighton players back to the shops with a fake shot. However, unfortunately, he does still get tackled. And now Brighton are on the counterattack. Yannick Vestergaard makes himself big and comes in with the tackle, and now the ball is now with Leicester City. Ricardo works his way off of Trossard, who was grappling him a little bit, and we work our way on a counterattack at the moment. As Tielemans plays a high ball that nearly finds Iheanacho on a break, but does not. The ball falls to Vardy, of all people, out on the wing, but he lets the ball trickle out for a corner kick, and it is Vardy who might... Nope. Vardy will let us build up and take this corner kick. Oh, my goodness. So as it stands, again, some more pressure coming. Nearly a lovely, lovely through ball to Iheanacho. And Tielemans will play this cross in. And it finds the head of Ndidi! And that is a goal! And it is 2-2 to Leicester City. And there is no taking that goal away. Maybe there is. The referee is getting involved again. There is some discussion going on. It has been called off for offside again. So, as it stands, Leicester City have put the ball in the net 3 times. We are going to watch the replay of this. They are appealing for Harvey Barnes to have been offside again for some reason. I don't think they can say that he was interacting with this ball. He wasn't in the way of Sanchez. He wasn't interacting with the ball. He did not touch this. It is being checked for the disallowed goal. And VAR has called this off for offside again. As it stands, 2 goals have been called off for Leicester City for non-contact offsides by Harvey Barnes. And another frustrating outing for Leicester City. At this point, I would say yes, we are getting robbed. I thought there was no way we were going to get that taken away from us, but once again, another goal called off for offside. Yeah, you don't have to touch it anymore, but I thought at the very least he would have had to have been considered part of the play, or at least obscuring Sanchez's view in that case. That's very likely going to have to be part of the play. That might get those rules might get reviewed at some point, because somehow that goal also called off. But again, Leicester City pouring on the pressure. We have another 3 minutes left in this game, plus injury time, as we try to find a goal that the referees can't take away from us. At the moment, Brighton currently have the ball. Try to play a through ball to the wing to Cucurella, but that will not find anybody, and it is out for a Leicester City throw. Trossard currently on the ground, getting some attention from other Brighton players, but he is getting back to his feet. However, the physios have come onto the pitch. All things considered, this will get added to injury time, so a little bit of time taken. It looks as though that just an uncomfortable landing by Trossard. He might have landed uncomfortably on his hand or his arm after a collision with Tielemans. Yeah, at this point, just frustrating by the refereeing at this point. 2 goals called off for offside decisions for Leicester City, both off of corner kicks, as well as a penalty that was given to Brighton. Still leaves Brighton with a 2-1 lead at the moment. And yeah, it's just been frustrating. There are Steve has definitely been rather vocal in blaming Brendan Rodgers for this at this point, but definitely frustrating for Leicester City at the moment with the way that VAR has been acting in this match. But we remain positive. We still have a chance. We got a minute and a half left, plus injury time. People are saying we could still win this 3 or 4-2. Ricardo currently has the ball in the Leicester City half, and a very high press being played by Brighton at the moment. Forces Soyuncu to play the ball back towards Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel will play the ball to Vestergaard. Vestergaard under pressure by Trossard will play the ball, but his pass is intercepted. Now it is Brighton back on the attack. Soyuncu will intercept that ahead of Mopai, and there will be no shot by Brighton as a result. Barnes maintains possession against a couple Brighton players that were maintaining pressure against him. He will play the ball back to Vestergaard. Vestergaard holding possession just outside the Leicester City penalty area, who will play the ball over to Soyuncu. Soyuncu plays a lofted ball towards Iheanacho. He cannot get there ahead of the Brighton defender, and that ball will be played through towards Dunk. Then, was that Dunk? I don't think that was Dunk. That was, sorry, it's hard to keep track of all the squad numbers. That was Dunk. At the moment, play has been stopped. Lookman just getting himself up off the ground. And they're just showing yet another replay of one of the 2 goals for Leicester City that have been called off for offside. This referee needs to be investigated and have his accounts checked. But of course, Foxes never quit, as the ball is back into the Brighton penalty area, but it will be headed out following some jostling. We are 10 seconds away from the 90-minute mark, but I expect we will have a few minutes added time due to the 2 VAR decisions as we hit the 90-minute mark. Tielemans and Ricardo passing the ball around at the halfway line, and we will have 5 minutes of added time as Castagna plays the ball to Barnes. Barnes under pressure, but he gets past his man, and he heads towards the penalty area. He plays the ball to Castagna. Castagna maintains possession. He plays the ball back to Barnes. Barnes under pressure. He cannot get the shot off. There is an appeal by several of the players that is dismissed by the referee, and that is out for, I believe, a Leicester City throw-in. as we get 30 seconds into 5 minutes of added time. Castagna taking his time with this throw in as he doesn't really have an option at the moment. He will throw the ball into Tielemans. Tielemans plays the ball with a no-look pass back to Castagna. Castagna plays the ball into the area. That will be headed out by Brighton. Ball currently at the feet of Cucurella, who will play the ball hard. That will go over to Barnes. Barnes will then be caught, pass the ball to a tossle of heads. However, the ball now stands with Trossard, who's trying to start a counterattack under pressure by Ndidi. Trossard currently still being handheld by Ndidi. And that ball will then be played back, and that ball will be played by Veltman up and over trying to find Mopai, but that ball will only find Schmeichel, who will hoof the ball out of play. That will go up towards the halfway line. That will not go out of play. And that will fall to Barnes. Barnes will play the ball to Tielemans. Tielemans will play the ball to Soyuncu. And Leicester City trying to find an ability to get the ball played forward. Yeah, as a Brighton fan, I do feel for you, Leicester. You guys have been robbed. It has been tough with the refereeing decisions. However, this match isn't over yet. Barnes plays the ball up to Vardy. Vardy currently playing out on the wing. He cannot maintain possession, and that ball will be played towards Mwepu. Mwepu will let the ball go out of play, and that is a throw into Leicester. Pressure is still being maintained at the moment as we are in the forward third, 2 minutes into this at-a-time period, and that will be Vestergaard, who will play the ball to Ndidi, and Ndidi plays the ball to Tielemans. Tielemans plays the ball to Vardy, who will play the ball across the face of goal. That is a save by Sanchez, but that ball will fall to Lookman, who will take the shot. That shot gets blocked, and that falls to Ricardo. Ricardo's header ends up going off towards Cucurella, who will clear the ball. Cucurella tussling with Soyuncu will tussle with Mopai. Mopai will play. That ball will end up landing towards Ndidi. Ndidi will play the ball to Castagna. Castagna will play the ball towards Barnes. Barnes cannot get by Lallana, and that is out for another Leicester City throw-in. Duffy trying to get the crowd to make some noise as we have 2.5 minutes remaining in this period of extra time. Vestergaard will play the ball forward up under pressure by Trossard. He will get the ball towards Barnes. Barnes will play the ball towards Lookman, who has acres of space in the middle. He will get by his man. He's still marked by 3 players. He will get the ball towards Ricardo. Ricardo will play the ball towards Tielemans. Tielemans on the edge of the area takes the shot and fires wide. But again, lots of pressure coming forward. Daniel, this is pretty much what is going on. Everyone is coming forward. We've been seeing even Yannick Vestergaard coming forward to the forward areas of the field, coming up into the Brighton defensive third. And a booking is going to be given by the referee. I'm not quite sure for whom. I think it might have been for Robert Sanchez for time wasting. Yes, it is Sanchez who will be booked. I think it's Sanchez for time wasting as he lines up this goal kick. The Brighton faithful is on their feet as we get to 93.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes remain in this game. Ricardo takes a throw-in in the defensive third. Will play the ball to Tielemans. Tielemans plays the ball to Vestergaard. Vestergaard will play the ball across to Castagna as we get into the Brighton half. Barnes will be tackled, and that will Joel Veltman gets knocked down, and that will be a free kick. And I imagine Veltman will not be quick to his feet. So Brighton will take this as an opportunity to waste a little bit of time, probably get this down to reduce Leicester City to maybe one more chance to attack. Brighton getting almost everybody forward. Just for a quick update as it stands, Manchester United 2, West Ham 1. Although it does look as though there might be a penalty for West Ham, but I'll report on that later as then Ndidi gets the ball. But he can't play a pass past Veltman, and Veltman will get the ball to Mopai. No foul against Mopai as he hits the deck. Ball is played over towards Ricardo on the left wing as he will run in towards the Brighton half. Ball is played to Iheanacho. Very quickly, we're trying to get the ball forward. Iheanacho will play across in towards Vardy. Vardy can't get there and is headed out towards Trossard. Trossard will play the ball towards Cucurella. Cucurella under pressure. He will play the ball outwards, and then that ball is played back towards the Brighton back line. A lofted through ball tries to find Cucurella, and it will not find him ahead of Vestergaard. However, Ricardo's ball ends up getting played right back into Cucurella, and the ball ends up with Moder. Moder will play the ball over. He beats his man, and he is running forward towards Soyuncu. We have hit the 95th minute mark. And that ball is out with Soyuncu at the moment. And that is with Ricardo, who will hoof the ball out. But it looks as though the final whistle has been blown. And this game has ended. Full time, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Leicester City 1. And again, I'm not the kind of person that likes to complain about officiating, but I would say that this is the third consecutive game that will end with frustration for Leicester City around the officiating, following a narrow penalty for Brighton that gave them the first goal through a Mopai penalty, and then 2 consecutive Leicester City goals that ended up getting called off for offsides by both by Harvey Barnes. A really unfortunate finish to this match. Just to provide an update as well, Manchester United have defeated West Ham 2-1 as David De Gea saves Mark Noble's penalty. So as it stands on the table, Leicester City sit in 12th with 2 wins from 5 and 6 points. A very frustrating match, I would say, for the Leicester City faithful. But that's just what I am saying. I am putting the link into the chat. Please join me and get your views in on how this match has ended. I think somebody does need to call the Suffolk Constabulary, because there has been some daylight robbery at the Amex today. Definitely a frustrating match. There will be a lot of frustration across the Midlands with the officiating in today's game between both the penalty and the 2 disallowed goals. However, let's also take a moment to recognize the fact that with this win, Brighton and Hove Albion will take 2nd place. Actually, as it stands, they will take 3rd place, I think, in the standings. I just need to refresh my Premier League table to double check that. Yes, Brighton are in 3rd in the Premier League, 1 point behind Manchester United, who are now tied for 1st with Liverpool in the Premier League standings. Kiss goodbye to a top 6 finish. Let's not forget the fact that we lost a lot of games that we should have won last season as well. We lost to Fulham. I think that was like the big game that people like to discuss as a match that really, really should have been won by Leicester City. That did end up costing us some placements. This season is not over until we have played every team twice. Let's not forget that at all. I don't think this is by any means the end of a Leicester City push towards Europe, but definitely a frustrating start to the season. Well, if you look at the table, 13th place, people were mocking them, and now we're in the exact same position, probably discussing Arsenal there. Definitely frustrations for Leicester City. I think I definitely agree with Anthony's comment here. Hopefully Brendan Rodgers will now understand we need to start games to win, not just pass the ball around with no end product. Also has to drop players who will not put in a shift. It was lethargic at the start of this game. The first half an hour, we were playing like a team that was 2-0 up and had nothing to lose. And then we gave away 2 rather cheap goals to Brighton through rather lethargic play. And again, let's not take away any credit from Leicester City or from Brighton, who did play well. They scored those 2 goals. However, definitely we need to start playing some serious games at the start. We can't be a second half team in every game and expect to win all of the matches that we need to. Going to take a quick moment to say thank you very much, Helena, for the £1.79 super chat. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate it. And thank you very much for the compliment as well. It's never easy to do to fill all of the airtime, so always appreciate all of you who come in and put comments in and join me on the live link as well. We're a channel of fans, and it's always great to get as many fans' views in as possible. 3 seasons now, history is repeating itself. You know what? At the end of the day, though, I'll still be happy with a 5th or 6th place finish if we can muster that. But definitely some questions are going to need to be answered, and I think we are going to start to see some rotation. I think after some lackluster performances, we're really going to start seeing some rotation of Tielemans and Madison. I don't think we're going to be seeing as many of we're going to be seeing them starting as many games. Definitely, though, some frustrating officiating in this match. And yeah, early this season, why sign 5 players and not use them? I think that's where we're going to start seeing some rotation of those players. I'm being joined by Ross at the moment. Ross, if you can give me a quick thumbs up, I'll put you up on screen. Not a great game to watch. Frustrating game for sure in that second half. What are your takeaways?
We got robbed. I know. Yeah, first half we were poor. How on earth is that a penalty? Mope had his arm. Yes, I 100% agree. If this was past 9, if only this was past the watershed, I'd be a bit more words. But we got robbed. We honestly did. You know, yeah, we didn't. It didn't help. We didn't play well in the first half, and I would say it took us until Vardy scored to get going. You know, that's not the Leicester we should be playing from the first minute. That's one issue. How that never a penalty. You know, he had his arm. Where else is Vestergaard? He's supposed to cut his arm off so he don't get handball. It's an absolute joke. Yeah, it's his arm, but Mope was pulling him. Absolute joke. And No,
I agree with you on the penalty there. So at first, I didn't think we had much of an appeal because I know that by the rules of the game, if the ball hits the arm and it deflects the ball away from goal, that's a penalty. There's no arguing that part of it. It doesn't matter how intentional it was that Vestergaard's arm was out. I hadn't seen until maybe the second or third replay the fact that Vestergaard was getting pulled down by the arm with what looked like a lot of momentum and a lot of weight by Mopai. And realistically, that's a foul anywhere on the field. But unfortunately, I think it came down to the fact that the VAR review was just for the handball.
That's what really absolutely annoyed me so much because you can clearly see Mope was pulling on Vestergaard's arm and he got a penalty. So cheating his way to get a penalty, you know, and obviously, you know, their second goal was just a set piece and, you know, Welbeck header. And it's one thing is for sure, and a lot of people are saying this. Why on earth is Maddison still in the first 11? This is what really annoys me as well, and it's going to annoy a lot of Leicester fans. You know, Mike's exactly. You know, and you know when Lookman came on, he played very well. I think he meant doesn't seem bothered. I think he meant to say.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant to say. But Lookman came on. I thought, you know, he tried everything. He tried shooting. He tried playing well. And I felt so bad. Them goals. It wasn't even in an offside position. Fair enough. But he wasn't interfering with the goalkeeper. Because you look at the second goal, he could see the ball clearly. But no. Do you know what it is? Someone has put it in the comments. I don't know who it is. I'm going to try and find this.
Sure.
Sorry, just before I came in, give me a minute to find it. Where is it now? There is a comment. And I 100% agree with it. Give me a second to find it. But I will find it. Basically, someone said, basically now, because we're mixing it in with the top 6, everything's going against us. Because we're trying to break in that top 6 Sega thing. But that really annoyed me today. Absolutely annoyed me. Yeah, it didn't help we didn't play well, that's for sure. Exactly. Derek's just put there. Why didn't VAR look at all the angles which were shown? No, they only like to look at one angle. Why didn't the ref go and have a look?
I definitely want to review sort of the way that these offside rulings work because I did see some people talking about it in the comments.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to drop back out. 2 seconds.
Yep, I'll drop you out. But just to jump off of what Ross was saying there, I need to take another look at the rules of offside because I understand players being marked as an offside position in a place where you can disallow a goal if you are obstructing the view of the goalkeeper, because that means that you are influencing play. However, I do think that there are a lot of questions around the second disallowed goal because Barnes wasn't in between the ball and Sanchez. Barnes wasn't in the way of Sanchez. He was in an offside position. That is non-debatable. But at least in my opinion, he neither interfered with play nor touched the ball, nor interfered with the vision of Sanchez in the direction the ball was going. I don't really see how that was called off as offside. And I think it might just be that I'm not as familiar with the rules. But definitely annoying. James King coming in here with some weighing in on the officiating. Penalty was a foul, and neither of the two fouls were offside, or neither of the 2 goals were offside. Appalling officiating. Barnes didn't make a move for the goal. Neither did he block keeper's vision. bar appalling. I think that there's a reasonable appeal to say that the first disallowed goal was offside. I think he was obstructing Sanchez's vision there. The second goal, I mean, you heard me say that during the celebrations, I was saying that you can't take that goal away from us because I didn't think Barnes was in the way. And then they did. Well, Kevin, saying that I would rather have Perez in this team than Madison at the moment after a suspension. I believe, if I remember correctly, he should be coming back next game. So we might start to see him getting into the rotation because I know that Perez is one of the preferred players for Brendan Rodgers. I think Brendan Rodgers recently gave a statement to the press about how players need to earn their place into the team. I'm just going to quickly add Ross back in here. Hey again, Ross.
Hey up. Sorry, I just had to do some deals with something. But no, I was just saying then, you know, this is going to be the game where it's going to cost us. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough game because Brighton have played very well this season. That's not the issue. You know, the issue I had that first half, we were second best to everything, and I mean everything.
Totally.
You know, and that's one thing we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be second best to anything. But that penalty just really annoyed me. It really annoyed me so much. Goals, you know, couldn't believe it. Went in for brilliant. Next minute, VAR. But why didn't the ref go and look at the penalty? Because you'd have thought when you give a corner in the first place. No, did he give a corner at first? Didn't he?
I believe he did because the Brighton players did all flock to the referee at the time. So I think again, like that might have come down to the fact that VAR will only overturn the referee's decision if it's considered clear and obvious. And VAR did not review whether or not Vestergaard was fouled. VAR was only reviewing whether or not Vestergaard handled the ball.
That's what annoyed me. If the referee went and go and see the on the screen like the other do, so whenever they put it out for a corner or it's not anything, they should go and have a look and see. And there's a foul there, not give a foul or whatever. Then it's the referee's call. He's gone to the linesman. How the hell can the linesman see it from there? All the linesman see is an arm.
Oh, sorry, Ross, your audio's cut out, Ross.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sorry, I was just ranting because I'm on my phone up and down. No, how on earth can the referee see from there? Oh, he sees his arm. Oh, yeah, penalty. But not looking that he was pulled by that bloody moped. There's words I could describe him, but again, this is before the watershed.
I'll take a moment to remind you, we are a family channel.
Yes, exactly. You know, there's other words.
Family club, family channel.
We'll be in backstage in Gorilla when I'll rent out my frustrations then. But no, they didn't go. Michael said, "Why aren't you going to have a look at it then?" Because the referee would have gone on there, had a look. Oh yeah, it's a foul, free kick. But no, decided to give a penalty because he's scared. He didn't have the balls to go and change that and go and have a look at it because he's in a home crowd of Brighton, with atmosphere of Brighton Albion. I tell you what, if that was at the King Power, he would have gone and seen that and would have been a free kick if it was, Brighton penalty at the King Power. But no, and that is now Brighton's first win against Leicester in the Premier League, and that is about as much. The first half they were the better side. Let's not take anything away from them. They were the better side first half. Zach Cucurella, I think he's a cracking signing for Brighton. The second
I would
half,
say that he would be man of the match for Brighton.
I think he was man of the match. I think Cucurella is a very good player, very talented player. But again, I agree with a lot of people saying about Madison. He's just nothing there. He doesn't seem the player as he was. Yeah, Madison. It could be the issue. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. So that second half, we played a lot better second half. We didn't play like the best. We played a lot better in the second half than we did in the first. Lookman came on. It looked like he wanted to score a lot. It was good to see Vardy scoring again.
Oh, whoops.
You do live videos too often not to have. Yeah, but this is on my Sony phone. So
I was gonna say that wasn't even the one I was trying to click on. I was trying to click on this one that was just to get a variety of opinions in.
Yeah, but end of the day, but that thing is though, then the thing is unfortunate. This has gone against us. This is 100% gone against us. It's not one of them where was it just offside or anything. They were clear and obvious. They were goals. the goalkeeper could see it. Even the second goal, the Brighton players were not even complaining about it. The first one they were. All players were rushing to the referee. The second one, not one single Brighton player was running to the referee saying that's offside. Not at all. But then that linesman just goes, oh, there we go. But why doesn't the referees go and see if it's offside or not? Instead of having to go like that, looking like they're on the bloody computer game or something, like with earpiece. Go and have a look at it. But no, they don't have the the grapefruits, should I say? I'll rephrase that. Grapefruits to go and look and make their own decision. They're all. The referee might as well just not be on the pitch. It might as well just be something's happened. Wait for VAR. Boom. That's the decision. Because the referees are just pointless. They're about as much use. As pineapple on pizza. It's useless. Absolutely useless.
I'm gonna take this moment to remind you that Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada. So that's against my country right there.
But listen.
No, I understand where you're coming from. One thing
if anyone wants to agree with me or disagree with me, come on, we need more people than just me. And we need more people. Come on, give your own views on what you thought of the game today. Where's that link?
I've popped it in the chat a couple times, but just to get it, comments are swarming in. So
we get more time when we lose.
I would like to discuss this a little bit. A lot of people there's been sort of two prevailing tactics that have been, I would say, on the negative side of things, and we should address them. People have been saying that Brendan Rodgers needs to be blamed for his tactical decisions, and James Maddison needs to be blamed for lackluster performances.
Oh.
But I would actually say it's not so much Brendan's tactics. I mean, we've had plenty of discussion about Brendan's tactics and the fact that he's kind of stubborn and stodgy, and he doesn't really change tactics. But why does he keep playing Maddison? Maddison has been in rather poor form for like the last 2 or 3 games, and yet he's still in the starting lineup, out of position. He's not a winger. Why is he in a front 3 when we could have put Lookman in? Both Maddison and Tielemans, in my opinion, play that number 10 role. And when they're both in the lineup, whoever's not in the number 10 role plays terribly.
Just watch the FA Cup final. Tielemans was in that role and they got the winner. It's just getting to the point now where is he only in the squad because of his namesake? Because I don't want to be one of them teams, one of them clubs where we only play players because of their name. Like, it's not a penalty, and the keeper had no choice of saying I agree. He's been lackluster since the COVID-5 situation. He's been lackluster. I think it was a little bit just beforehand, but next game who have we got next? I don't even know who we've got next. If I'm honest, I know we've got Millwall at the League Cup. Now that's a game. Now a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, it's on the League Cup." I want to win that League Cup, or at least have a great run in it, because when I was a kid, I was 7 years old when I first ever seen Leicester City win a major trophy. We're
going to add in Leo as well. Leo's camera isn't working, but hopefully we can still get your audio in. Leo, can you hear us?
Yep.
Awesome. We were just discussing sort of like Maddison's place in the team right now. Are you of the opinion that he should be sort of rested for a few games?
Yeah, I think, they have to. If he's not performing and he doesn't deserve a spot in the team and someone else does, then he has to go. You can't keep giving him chances if he's not going to deliver.
Now, with that said, so Burnley is our next Premier League match. So that's going to be very similar to Brighton, one of those sloth, tough, hard-fighting teams.
You're not kidding.
Who takes his place?
Keenan Dewsbury Hall. He deserves a chance. He hasn't really had a chance at all this season as of yet. He deserves it.
Yeah, I know Sean comes on and he gives a lot of love to Dewsbury Hall as well. And we've seen some positivity from him. Now, one thing that I might propose is if we do want to stick with formation like the one that we went into with this game, maybe Lookman deserves a few more starts, and perhaps Dewsbury Hall can be that player to come on and relieve him at halftime.
Yeah, I reckon that Lookman will be starting right wing as for the majority for the season. He played well today, I thought. He played well last week against Man City. So yeah, the quicker we can get him starting, the better. But Brendan, some players he just chooses he doesn't want to put in the team, and other players they'll keep getting backed. Either way.
Knowing the way that Brendan Rodgers is, I'd probably say that this is going to be most likely. Is that most likely Perez will take his place when he's available again, because at the end of the day, much in the same way that Brendan Rodgers plays the tactics that he likes, he plays the players that he likes.
Yeah.
Do
you think he'll drop him?
Drop Madison?
Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
Probably not.
Just before if people are just clicking in and you answered that question, the reason I'm saying no, he won't because of his namesake. Let me just rephrase that before anyone says anything. End of the day, he needs to drop him. He needs to say, look, you're not playing well. Dropped. Back in the day, if you play terrible, it's like when you're at your workplace. If you're not doing very well, obviously they won't sack you. I'm just saying that they'll talk to you. They'll do a coach session or whatever job your industry you're in. He needs to do exactly the same with Madison. He's played absolutely shocking these last few games. He needs to be dropped. He needs to realise if he gets dropped, then like Dewsbury Hall or Luckman comes in, then he'll be like, oh, I'll need to up my game in training. I'll need to up my game in this. But what annoys me is the fact that he brings in the action on. We should have brought Daka on as well. Yeah, exactly. No player's name is bigger than the badge on the shirt. 100%.
Agreed.
I wish you could pin that completely, because that is an absolute great. That's probably the best comment of the day.
Yeah.
No player's name.
Put that up in the tunnel with Foxes Never Quit.
Yeah, exactly. No player is bigger than the club. His head is what's the word? Popularity and stuff is getting to him, and it's affecting his performances a lot. And if we really want to be taken seriously as a top 6, top 4 club, we need to. We need to win these games. We need to put in the performances, not just against the big clubs. That's why we didn't get top 4 last season, because teams like the little teams like Fulham's and your Newcastles didn't win them, but go and beat Man U, go and beat Man City, go and beat Chelsea. But if you beat them, it's pointless if you beat them if you can't beat the little ones. The teams that aren't so big.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just reading that.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up this comment sort of for us to discuss that, because I've seen a few other comments along these lines about, we lost to West Ham and we lost to Man City last season. If we compare this to the Fulham loss, if we lose next game, is Brendan Rodgers on the block?
No.
But managers these days can get sacked for any reason or leave for any reason. I'm not saying that he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm not saying now he deserves a chop, because he absolutely doesn't. Obviously, what he's done for us, I'm not going to fault that. But what I'm saying is the fact that managers these days can. The thing is, our owners are not stupid. That's the thing. Our owners, if they sack someone, they're not stupid. They will bring somebody in. They're not just going to sack them and then like, oh, who do we go for? They'll have to really think it through.
What about Shakespeare?
Yeah, but at that time, obviously he was their caretaker, and then he got offered the job because he did so well for us. But end of the day, obviously it's good to see Vardy score again, but I know obviously the penalty again, never a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. The goal should have stood, and we should be on here right now saying that we won that game at 3-1 or 3-2. No, we won 2-1. Ndidi as well, and I want to bring up Ndidi because he's putting in rash challenges, silly challenges, or giving the ball away. That towards the end, if you saw it, he just it was no foul on Mopey. I can't remember what it was. And then Ndidi just passed it out like we were winning. I'm like, what are you doing? You boot it up and try and get it forward. And then towards the end, he was just pulling back, and that's not like Ndidi at all. And he could have been sent off. He already got booked in that game. So if he wasn't careful, he could have got sent off again.
The fact he got a red card against Napoli midweek kind of sums up your fact there.
The decisions have gone against us in these last two games in relations to cards and the bad things. But obviously today was more important because it was the league. We want to get off to a good start. I know, but Brighton let's not take it away from Brighton. They've won three. They've won three out of the last four before today. Now they're second or third in the league, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they're third in the standings, but second on point standings because first and second
the second. Sorry, the third now because Manchester United won because West Ham had a last-minute penalty saved.
Yeah.
So yeah, now look at the table now. So I'm looking at the table right now. We're 12th. Right.
Now, also, I'm just going to quickly address this one by saying that none of us are saying that Brendan should get sacked.
So that's
we're
why
just addressing it because we're a forum for the fans and people in the comments are discussing it.
Yeah, so I just want to make that clear. No, we don't. I don't want to sack Brendan Rodgers. No, absolutely. But the thing is, Nick, great comment. He needs to be so stubborn. He needs to drop Maddison.
Yes.
If you did a poll right now, okay. So anyone that's watching this, just one word, yes or no. All right. If you should Brendan Rodgers drop James Maddison? Yes or no? No, like 25 lines. Just yes or no. That's it. And see what happens. Sorry, go on. There you go. So,
I guarantee you we're going to get a sea of yes.
Within the space of 6 seconds, we've had 3 yeses. Wow. Okay.
Look at
there you go. Straight away, I'll let them all flow in a minute. Just
we'll wait for someone to say no.
So there you go. There is the answer. Absolutely, he needs to be dropped. I'm not saying drop completely and they'll never play again. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it needs to be he needs a reality check.
Which kind of helped Hamza as well when you think about it. A great point by Michael.
Wow, all these yeses coming in. Hang on. So I'm going to count them up just while we're doing this.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yep.
Do you think Maddison's met the expectations so far that were given to him since when he joined us 3 years ago, I think it was, from Norwich?
I would say that he has in every season except this one.
Yeah, right.
Like last season and the season before that, he felt rather pinnacle to the team. This season, it's just something's gotten into him and he's just off form.
Well, he has. But I know that he had his first child, but obviously that's. I don't know if that would be an excuse.
So, going very quickly. I've just done that. 31 people have said yes.
I mean,
that was just a little sight reading. So,
we got one no.
Now that's the thing. Here's the thing. No one. I like I said, a lot of people are going to say, I'm not bothered about the League Cup, but if I want to win the League Cup, I've already said it this season on different shows. It's a cup that we've not won since 2000. I'd love to win it again, and I think we need to take the cup seriously. Took the FA Cup seriously, we won it. I need Brendan. I think we all want Brendan Rodgers to take the league, every cup seriously. You don't just go in half-arsed.
Well, that's another thing. I was going to say that's another thing. Like for anybody who thinks that Brendan is on shaky ground, I think even if we finish possibly even out of a European place, but win a title, win a trophy, he stays.
As long as you're winning trophies, you're fine.
Exactly. Even the League Cup. Like I know the League Cup isn't held in like super high regard by fans, but I'd still love to win it. And put something in the cabinet.
Here's another question you should put in. So obviously we just mentioned then basically there's not one person that has said not drop him. How about this? If you were to drop him, who are you going to bring in? Now
let's get those answers in the chat. I'm actually just seeing Jack popping in and out. I think he's having a little bit of connection issue, but I'm going to try to get him in with some reactions from the coach.
Down south, God. Down south connections are pretty bad.
Yep.
And before anyone says I'm not bashing the south, it's just down south is pretty bad for internet. So There you go.
I was gonna say it's one of those things that's always a little bit tricky because how long is the trip to Brighton?
Depends where you're from. Depends where you're going. If you're going from the King Power, hang on, I'll Google it right now.
Cool. Because I was gonna say like away days in the MLS are killer. Like our nearest team would be the Montreal Impact, and that's a 6.5 hour coach ride from Toronto.
Is it Toronto FC? Do you play in red? Do they play in red? Right. So I'm going to send it you privately. There is a video on on YouTube. The referee is something. Oh, it actually just described today. Actually, to be fair, basically it rhymes with tanker. But yeah, and it's not even, the game's not even started yet. I'm going to send it.
That could, if that's in the MLS, that could be Toronto fans.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It says Toronto FC.
Okay,
so Amex Stadium to King Power. Now, bearing in mind this is car, 3 hours and 12 minutes, but coach could be a bit longer because it's a coach. So
fair. I was going to say like the 6.5 hours Toronto to Montreal would be by car as well.
Wow. Do you fly to games or do you not do the away days?
He's from Canada, so it's not exactly just to walk down the road. I'm from Sheffield.
I was gonna say, I do way more home games, but I've been to one away match, and I took a train to that.
Oh, yeah. Which one was that?
It was Montreal.
Oh, Montreal. Sorry, I thought you meant Leicester. I don't remember Leicester playing Montreal.
No. Listen, I have it on my bucket list that like once COVID protocols have eased and like I can go abroad again because it's very hard for a Canadian to leave Canada right now. I bought Fox membership for this year just so I can buy a ticket to a game.
Oh, nice one. That's good then. No, he can't. There's a question by Daniel Bradbury. It's put, can Pratt be recalled? I don't think he can.
Not at this point, no. Now, a lot of people were saying that, like, why did we loan him in the first place? I think that goes back to Brendan's stubbornness. That Pratt was not a player that Brendan really rates. And you know, I feel like just the way that we're talking about Madison now, like I feel like after every game, people are going, why won't he get rested for a match? Everyone was saying, why doesn't Pratt get a start?
The interesting thing is that Brendan did sign Pratt and he did sign Cengiz Under.
Yeah, my dad went to that. One because obviously being from Sheffield, he literally went to work, finished at about 4 o'clock, 4:30, so 4 or 5 o'clock. Went straight to the game because we were at Hillsborough. Not bad. But no, I would just, I would say frustrating results. I mean, I don't know what else to say really because it was just so frustrating today. You know, it doesn't help. If we'd have played better, if we'd have played amazingly, and that, I wouldn't be as fuming. Well, I would. I'd be like less like this because. See, I told you I'm right when it comes to down south connections.
I've been down south a lot.
So I've been down south a lot. So Weymouth, I think that's. Oh no, that's Worthing. Sorry, that's where my mum used to live. But no, it's just annoying that we we're away. Last year we did not lose an away game. We only lost. How many away games did we lose last season? Hang on, we lost Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea. We only lost 3 away games last season. Already we've lost 2.
Well, yeah, we
already because we didn't lose the first away game until November. Well, I know season started in September, but still. And then we didn't lose another away game until the COVID-5 situation in April, I think it was. March, April time. Yeah, it was. And then we obviously lost to Chelsea, so we've already lost 2 away games already. It's frightening, it's worrying.
Now, what I would hope for conversely with that though was that our home form was horrid last season. And I think a lot of that just came down to games being played without fans. The 12th man makes that much of a difference on a lot of games. Like Lee White just came in with a comment for that it's different with no fans away, that it's always going to be harder for that. But hopefully we need to shore up the King Power more then.
That's true. And I'll say, great turnout for the fans today. I saw it was a good set of crowd at the King
Didn't
Power.
look like Brighton had a full turnout.
Repeat that again, sorry.
Didn't look like Brighton had a full turnout today.
No, it didn't look like it. Obviously, I think it's because of all these protocols now that people are doing. People might just not want to, go through that hassle where you have to take a test and all that. That could be a reason. Don't know, but
I think a lot of it might be around that because I was going to say, like, even back here, like, Toronto games are back open full capacity, and I'm not going back to matches yet just because it doesn't feel fully safe.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've said it before, but any man of the match for Leicester, I would say Lookman. For really,
yeah, we haven't done that yet, but yeah, let me get that banner up. I completely agree with that. Realistically, I don't even think it's a contest. I think it's just Lookman.
I think you need to put a bracket, not the ref.
Hey, we're talking about a Leicester man of the match, not a Brighton man of the match.
I think you need to put that under a bracket, not the ref. Well, not the official, should I say? I think it was more the linesman, I think, than the ref. I think, but more towards the official, the linesman, because end of the day, you cannot. It's annoying that he only saw. Oh yeah, true. We didn't actually say that. He saw the arm. The referee said, "Hold on, let's see." Let's go and have a look. It's just really frustrating, and it's just annoying. And I've got to go back to work in 5 minutes, and I've got to go and sell some iPhones, which is the new launch. But so
you got it like a car phone warehouse, or
no, Vodafone, no.
Gotcha.
Oh God, no! Don't ever mention that name again. That is true. Fans complain when we sign players. Listen, we moan about anything. We moan when when it's no longer two for £1, two for $1. Obviously, you're $1. So, but in this case, if it's £2 for £1 in Poundland, and people kick off when they take it away.
Remember that
when they took away the privileges at Greg's, where they're not allowed to warm your passes up for you.
I would also say though.
Go on.
Would it truly be the Leicester fan experience if we weren't hideously frustrated at some point in the season? We're just getting it over with early.
It's being a football fan. It's what football is all about. I bet the Brighton channels we got away with that, or they played so well and stuff. We don't know. Obviously, all the channels and all the football fans are going to be like this. It's what football is all about. The debate: was this offside? Was that handball? I do love that game, but I hate it when it goes against Leicester. I just hate it. People say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't moan about a VAR after the FA Cup final," but that's done and dusted now. That was then. This is now. This is the Premier League, and we just got robbed of 2 goals, and they get a dodgy penalty from that Mopay geezer.
Just to quickly address this. So, Craig, unfortunately, you can't put photos in the chat, but if you have a visual you want to discuss, feel free to either describe it or you can always come on and we can talk about it.
Nick's just put Ross the new Del Boy. I just want to put the person that played Boise, unfortunately, has passed away today, which I'll rest in peace to. But I can't remember his name. I think his name called Boise. I know his name called Boise. That's all I know him as. So game of 2 hours. It went. No, I don't think we played amazingly in the second half. First 15 minutes, no. After we scored, yes, I 100% agree. Sure, there's other people coming on and listening to my mumblings.
I was going to say, Lee, I'd love to give Leo a little bit more airtime on this one.
I'm going to head off anyway, but been a pleasure, boys, lads, and everybody. So I will see you all in a bit. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. There we go. I'll try to get it in there for you. Save you.
Thanks, Ross.
See you, Ross.
Take care. All right, so Leo, you and me, I guess we'll discuss a little bit more sort of what we were talking about with squad rotation and Madison's place. So I know you were talking about giving Dewsbury Hall
he deserves
more game time. I'm going to bring up our lineup from this match, our starting lineup.
What I want to say about Dewsbury Hall is it's his boyhood club, so he's always going to give it his all. And you'd hope that all players are giving it all, but if I'm looking at Madison, he probably is, but it doesn't really look like it at the moment, unfortunately.
Totally. And I think on top of that, that might have been a little of what we were missing in the midfield because we always talk about Albrighton being the person who sort of brings that in the midfield, and his not getting brought on, I guess because he works better in a midfield 4 instead of a midfield 3, I think was deeply missed as well.
Yeah. And then, you know, I'd rather Evans be back. Unfortunately, he got another injury, so that's. But
yeah, I think even beyond Evans's physical ability and his footballing ability, the key for him.
Leadership.
Sorry?
Leadership.
Exactly. I was going to say it's a mental difference that he brings to the back four. And I feel like Vestergaard will be able to bring that to us, but he's so new at the club that he's not able to bring that yet. But he was almost, in a way, he was sort of that marshalling figure for Southampton.
Yeah, well, the thing is that Soyuncu, you know, in the 1920 season, obviously last season he had his injury battles. You know, he was probably top 3 centre-backs in the league. And I think it's because of Evans.
Yep.
That happened. And then, obviously last year for final was kind of the main piece. And then this year, obviously, the expectation came back on Soyuncu a bit.
Yeah, I think that was some of the discussion we were having towards the end of last season and the start of this one, was that Johnny Evans does an amazing job of making the other defenders around him look better. You know, people talk about how he did that for Maguire, he did that for Chilwell, and now he's doing it for Soyuncu as well. And it like I said, like, it's just sort of having that. I think someone called him a father figure at the end of the last watch along. That just that we miss him so much when he's gone, because of the fact that it leaves the rest of the defense a little bit disjointed. And I think it was a combination of both missing, both the fact that we were missing Evans and the fact that we were starting 2 brand new players for this season, that led to a bit of a lack of cohesion in that back four.
Yeah. Well, that Vestergaard and...
And then I think the final thing we'll discuss as well is was one of the comments, fitness around possibly getting JJ back sometime soon. How much of an impact do you think that he'll have when he's able to return?
Well, he was phenomenal last season. I think he shocked everyone. He was pushing for an England call-up. You know, he was in the, you know, he was in the under-21s before that, and then he was, you know, he could well have gone to the Euros. So
exactly,
it was unlucky. And you know, if he can get back to full fitness, like, you know, like with Ricardo, like he struggled, like Ricardo struggled getting back to full fitness last season when he came back into the team, but this year he's been phenomenal. So you know, maybe he might have those struggles that Ricardo had last season, but hopefully he doesn't. But yeah,
we'll definitely be keeping fingers crossed on that. Anyways, I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for joining us post-match, and hopefully we'll have you on for future watch-alongs.
Sorry about my camera. I know it probably doesn't help you out. So.
No worries, no worries. Always great to have you join us. All right, so I'm going to put the link in one more time just in case any more of you would like to join us. But finally, I want to sort of open this up as a bit of a general discussion. Would love to just see if there's any specific topics that you, the fans, would like to have. Would you like to discuss amongst yourself and discuss with me? We're also going to see if maybe some of the team that went down towards Brighton might be able to join us. But of course, like we were discussing, the network connection down there is not very good. So unfortunately, I don't think they'll be able to come in. However, of course, let's just have like a little bit of a time where you can all take the driver's seat and decide what we would like to discuss a little bit. Because I think we've covered a lot of sort of key topics. Of course, the officiating and some of the poor luck that we had around that. The need for squad rotation and tactical change, whether or not the 4-3-3 was successful, and of course Madison's future in the lineup, and whether or not we might end up with some of those more positive players that we've seen coming in, like your especially Lookman, and the position that they could end up taking in the squad. So, of course, please just get your views and your comments in just before we wrap up the live stream if we have any final discussions that we would like to have. I did want to bring back up Santosh's comment here about there were some positives to take away from this match because, again, we played a very, very good final half hour or so in this match. Barnes did make some great runs in towards the defense, and Ademola Lookman was just straight up making some of the midfielders and defenders look foolish. Lookman has an incredible gift and a lot of talent that I think we were missing a lot in the midfield, especially because a lot of our front forward players were just not getting the service that they needed. And Lookman made a difference for that. And we already saw, just plain stats-wise, what a difference that made in terms of how many quality chances that it made for us. Boothie, a good evaluation of our defense here. Evans allows Söyüncü to drive forward and knows that he has cover, but we are missing that because I know I did see Söyüncü did drive forward a few times, but the problem was that Vestergaard did also move forward at the same time. He didn't really remain in the back of defense. He wasn't really the last man so much as, say, Ricardo or Castagna ended up being towards that last half hour, and it left us vulnerable to a couple breaks. Fortunately, they weren't able to get shots off at the end of them, but they were still able to storm into the penalty area and at very least end up getting blocked. Nick Moore with some formation change recommendations that we go 4-4-2 next game if Evans is fit, and Nacho and Lookman to come in, Nacho up top with Vardy and Lookman on the right wing. I love the sound of this. So I am not a big fan of having just one up front because I feel like it just ends up denying Vardy a lot of service, and it more or less turns Vardy from a player who can shoot and score goals into a player who pulls defenses apart to make space for other players to come in. So having two up front, especially the way that we saw that he plays so well with Nacho, I think that a two up front is the perfect balance between the sort of three up front that didn't quite work today and the one up front that hasn't really worked for us at the start of this season. Michael Barrett, City have an issue with Maddison. They don't want to lower his transfer price, and I guess that's the reason that he's in the team. There is always that certain English tax that gets talked about a lot in the Premier League that, of course, because you want to have your homegrown player quota, you want to buy players that are English and talented, and so those prices definitely get driven up. But the thing is, Maddison did seem like he wanted to be a part of the team at the end of last season. I'm hoping that it's just an unfortunate dip in form, and perhaps that's then led to a problem with morale. But this should be the kind of thing that hopefully just a couple of matches on the bench, maybe a cup game to regain some form, will really help him. And the thing is, we have that depth to offer him the ability to rotate. Dave Fields need to be playing Albrighton, class player. I'm one of the biggest fans of Albrighton that you'll meet. I don't necessarily think that he needs to go in the starting lineup, but he needs to be a player that comes on at halftime, at the 50th, at the 60th minute mark, especially in a match like this where we were a goal down. I think some of the changes that were made, especially Lookman, might have been the best change that was made all match. But I think Albrighton needed to come on to be able to give that effort, that impetus, and that mentality change to the midfield that would get those front players the supply that they needed. It may have also come with a change of formation. Perhaps we could have brought Barnes off and left Vardy up front with maybe Lookman, or maybe brought... there's changes that could have been made. Probably Tielemans could have come off, play Albrighton in a middle three. But I definitely think Albrighton could have been a game changer in this. Beyond how much the referee was. May well be that we go for a luck factor for a few games and get a Marte in there. It's possible we could start to see a lot of rotation and then a little bit of love for the 4-4-2 formation. And then one final thought from Nick Moore on Maddison. Clubs won't pay the price we want if he's playing poorly, which realistically means that I feel like he's with us for the season. I just hope that we'll see some positive play. And then Gray, Albrighton has more effect coming on rather than starting. So this is my exact opinion on Albrighton. And I think that, quite frankly, Albrighton was sort of the reason why we were such a second half team last season, was because it wasn't so much that we were better after the 45-minute mark than the first 45. It was we were better after Mark Albrighton came on versus when he's not on the field or when he starts. He doesn't quite have the stamina because of how much effort he puts in while he's on the field to last a full 90 minutes. But when you give him the final 30, final 40 minutes, he's one of the best players in a blue shirt on the field. And I think we can close out on this one. Sean Winters, I think we're all going to be hoping to see a Lookman start. He has been very, very good in the matches that we've seen him, and definitely one of the positives to take away from what has been a frustrating match for us against Brighton. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, but just a little bit of housekeeping before we do. Let me take down that banner. I'd like to give a quick thanks to all of the partners and sponsors of the channel. Big thank you to all of you for helping to support us. And if you've enjoyed the watch along, please do us a favor and give us a like, give us a follow across different social media platforms. Always helps us to get these watch alongs into more people's hands. We got live shows that come on every day of the week. Please make sure to tune in and just get a hold of all things Leicester City. So with that, I'm just going to say one final thank you to all of you for having joined us for the watch along. A frustrating match, but we still support the Foxes and we move onwards and upwards to the next match. Take care.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.